Okay. New bit. Looks good over here. A little check in on Twitch and Kick. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Twitch looks good. This little check here. Kick looks good. All right. Close out all that noise and hop in. What is up, Mike? Sikeko, how you doing? Or Sisiko? Is it Sikeko or Sisiko? Like Cisco? Let me know. All right. Make sure I'm doing your name some justice there. At least Mike's nice and easy. Excited for today, man. Getting back to some Hermes action. Gonna see if the ROC behaves inside the ship. We got our tequila. Forgot what that was for a second. Sick Echo. Ah, see, I was wrong across all fronts. Thank you for that. Now I know. Sick Echo. Awesome. Oh, wait a minute. What is up, Katana? Hang on. A little cut off here. How did that happen? Stupid camera problems. Whoa, nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Son of a... There we go. Move me over that way a little bit more. All right. I think we're sitting pretty here. Sounds good. Everything voice-wise. It's easier in gamer tags when I can capitalize the S and the E. Yeah, totally, exactly. It makes it pretty obvious at that point. What's up, Alley Cat, Hazard Shield, Obsidian? Good to see everybody. All right, let me throw this nice skull helmet on here. Ow. And get started. Let's load this up. Voice is good. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and the goal of avoiding any possible sniping by player killers or griefers, we're keeping it pretty top secret today. So for this stream, we won't do any party formation. We'll probably save those for our Friday streams where we kind of get the org together and do some fun stuff. But gonna try to keep it a little bit harder to track me down in game. I'll know if anybody does find and camp or scam, or not scam, or mess around, then that must mean you're on my friends list if you hop in and make the effort. But hopefully we avoid a little bit of that today. Yeah, I need to get myself some streaming scotch. I would love to stream with like a pour of Lagavulin neat. I gotta get a little bit more popular on YouTube and Twitch though to make that happen. That's gonna be a pricey habit. What's up, Ball Plan? Made a mistake. Didn't know the Fury MX only had missiles, and I bought two. Oh shit. Yep. It's unlike the Guardian MX, which can be a little misleading. The Fury MX is a pure missile boat. How many missiles does it fit? I don't imagine it would be too many. Still a really small ship. What's up, Alex? Alright, let's get this thing parked in here. Do our little 3-point turn action. The ROC is a touchy creature inside these ships. That backup camera doesn't really help at all. Here we go. Do this. Back up a little bit more here. Sharper angle. There we go. Not really care to back it up all the way. And we'll put it right there. Power it. Oh, never mind. I keep it powered on so the stupid arm doesn't do that shit, because it'll glitch through the roof. So, we'll just do that. Go engines off, then we'll hop out. 4 size 2s and 8 size 1s. Not a bad compliment for such a small ship, I guess. Cue Austin Powers music, hell yeah. Oh yeah, we're also going to store some goodies in our gun racks. We, since I didn't unequip my livery and all of my components on my original Hermes, when that sort of loner got eaten by CIG just taking it back, it ate all of that, so I don't have my lockdown livery or anything. So it kind of forces me to run tripline, which I'm glad, because I might like it more. You guys might have noticed a trend lately that I like the blacked out, sleek, sort of murdered out look on ships. And Tripline looks pretty friggin' good. Kind of like Rockwell on the Moth, the darker livery on the SRV, Coalheart on the Golem, a few other things. I think I actually have everything I need over here. So this 8SU's got a bunch of goodies on it, including a bunch of turn-ins for these new missions. I'm glad they didn't get wiped or anything when we moved over to this update that included the Moth and all. So we should be able to bust through these first missions pretty fast, because all of my mining, preemptive mining I did, should hopefully work in our favor here. Because we got quite a bit of goodies. As far as some Baradom, Hadnite, Aphorite, Fenmaline and stuff. We also have a suit that's better suited for, actually, I think extreme heat. Maybe not. Oh, no, that's weird. It's, oh, there it is. It's above it. Yeah. All right, so this is for extreme cold and decently hot, which is fine, versus extreme hot, which I think is the Pembroke suit. I think Tripline is on the pledge store. It should be. Yeah, never put good components on rentals and snub ships. That is a smart way to think. And at least if you're going to, try to keep in mind when the ship might be leaving. I was under the impression that it was going to be the whole patch. I was very wrong. Apparently it was only like a week and a half, 2 weeks. So there's that. But I love the GEO too, by the way. This thing is so much fun. I'm primarily going to be using the GEO. The ROC is just to scoop everything up because it fits a lot more. And man, the new inventory system is going to be so glorious for this when it comes out because of proximity, bro. Oh, dude, you're going to be able to like stand right in the middle of your cargo bay and access all of this by just hitting I. Right, because right up here where you're not seeing anything, it's going to have another inventory section, but a lot cleaner. The graphics you guys have all seen. But up here in this spot, there are tabs where you'll be able to hit like an arrow here or an arrow here on the other side to tab between the ship's main cargo grid or the other storages that are there, like your GEO, your ROC, your 8SCU, and then just move stuff around. I can't wait for that, dude. It's going to be so clean versus having to basically park the ROC right next to the 8 and then transfer from ROC to U to box and repeat until you get it all out. So I'm looking forward to that change. I'm thinking maybe bring one extra ROC bag if things get weird, since we are bringing some extra GEO bags or boxes, pods, however you want to call it. Stack these back here. These can grid a little funny too. AP looting is back, or AoE looting is back. Oh, yeah, I mean, it will be, for sure. What's up, Malice? You can melt and rebuy the paint pack. You can. Or I can enjoy a different paint because I'm forced to, which is nice. Lets me see new things. The paint pack will come back during the next patch, which is totally cool. I try to keep a chill mindset with that. I don't really see the need personally to go through melting and rebuying, but hey, anybody who wants to, that is your prerogative. Is the ROC laser aiming correctly now? No, it's bad. It's bad. You can do it by feel, but the calibration is still very much off, at least as of the release of 4.6. We'll check, of course, once we get out there and see. Okay, so those are gridding in a sensible way. Why are you being stupid? Do I need to rotate you? Is that what it is? Is that how dumb you are? Gotta rotate this. And then maybe it'll... Yeah, okay, that's all it was. What the hell? Hey. Oh, I hate that. Oh my god, that's gonna bother me. Okay, I gotta just not think about it. Oh, it's so hard. It's okay. It's okay. Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate how small stuff grids. It's so stupid. I'm just going to try to ignore it, man. I don't need to hyperfixate. I'm just going to take a drink of alcohols. Life is good. Looks like another rotation issue. Yeah, maybe I flip it 180 degrees. I don't know. That's why I'm only about to bring one of these freaking ROC bags, because if you guys remember that one stream, I spent like 5 minutes trying to realign them, and it was not working. It was a bad day. What's up, Tor? I'm with you. Those small boxes being off by air would drive me nuts. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not alone in that. Oh, man. It's mighty painful, man. Especially because you know grid logic with putting your stuff in these ships, so it's just... I'm gonna go bald stressing out about this. Alright, come over here. Alright, I'll take one of these along. And I think we are ready to get out of here. We've got sustenance on board, we got medical supplies, we got our GEO, we got our ROC. We are set. I'm just gonna throw that one there and not think about it. Let's close this up. Let's also get ready to store, some stuff on the Hermes. So, one of these. So I got one for each side. Oh, there it is. One of these for each side. And I got a multi-tool here that I'll probably throw a repair module in. And I will take one of these out just to make sure that it is full. And I think I'm set. I also really enjoy the new filtering section. I know I've mentioned it in the past, but you have like symbols for this stuff, which makes it a little bit more intuitive. Like sustenance is like a hamburger. You have armor, you have like a weapon symbol or like an ammo symbol. It's going to be pretty sweet. I'm looking forward to more testing of that system. Alright, let's go ahead and stash our nice ones in our... Oh, I can't actually. So I'm just going to put it in my hand. And then store it. That'll work. Unlike the mole, we don't have a dedicated utility slot. Alright, reloading the battery. Is this going to be a full canister? It is. Interesting. Alright. I don't remember putting one in there, but I'll take it. It's at 100%. I'll be happy with that. Grab the multi-tool. Don't know if this has any modules in it, so let's... What just happened? I think by habits, I ended up swapping to the new one. Yeah, okay, so it's empty. So I should be able to just drag and not drop. Nope, that swapped the one on my hip. Okay, that's frustrating. Son of a... Okay, we've lost a component. Okay, that is the healing function. I think I just ate the other module by messing around with it. Hang on. Maybe it'll show back up. No, see, this is why you bring extras. Which, did I? Yes. Okay. I'm like doubting myself now. Alright. You know what I think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just... Nope, it's down here. I'm gonna place this one. Switch to this one. Place that one. Now we can equip this one properly without any Chris Roberts shenanigans. Hopefully. That's the goal, at least. Throw on the attachment. Oh my gosh! You know what? Another thing that's really freaking nice? None of this, like, ghost bullshit was... Oh, wait, no. No, there was. There were, like, phantom renderings in the new inventory system. Never mind. Scratch that. Alright. Drag and drop works. Yeah, drag and drop is also how it works on the new one as well, which is nice. So that one I can't do that with. So we'll go here. Nope. Select. Hasn't synced yet. Yeah, exactly. And... there we go. Hit wait for... I like to wait for this to show 100%, which is right here at that spot behind my chair that I guess you can't see. And then we put it on. Sweet. Alright. Store it! There we go. We're good. Go ahead and put the other ones on, which, nope, they're already on my person. I'm a mess right now. Mining videos are reigniting my love of solo mole mining. I've been ignoring it for a while, but I jumped back into it from this event. I'm having a blast. Hell yeah, Solace. I'm really happy that I was able to give you that little friendly nudge there. I've got a couple of salvage and mining video ideas coming out soon, kind of getting reacquainted with everything. See, that one didn't actually switch to the 100, so I wonder if I can do a quick reload. Wake it up. There we go. Pop the new one in. Fresh. Looking good. Long time lurker, first time watcher. What's up, Voss? Been enjoying your hauling vids. Just want to say thanks. Just got my first Hull C. Well, hell yeah, man. Let me know. How's it been for you? Has it been a total pain in the ass? Or are you having some good times? Hopefully some of the tips I gave help you navigate the touchiness that can be the Hull C. Next live stream is probably going to be dedicated to some Hull C fun. It's been a little too long since we've done that. So I think it's time to revisit her and see how it's going. Alright, I think we're all squared away here. Let's close that up and get moving. What's up, Saucy Jake? Blue Dragon over on Kick. I like to see it. Hell yeah. Doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. It bothers me a lot. Alright, hang on. Let's see if I can... I know I wasn't going to, but can I just give it a full 180-degree rotation? That might be what it is, because you notice the digital display is on the outside, but it's not on this one, so... Let's try it. Let's try it. Just gentle 180-degree rotation. I can breathe again. Oh, man. Okay, yep. It's just the rotate. We're good. We're good. We're good. Moving on. Alright. YOLO battery guy, what's up? Alright, let's get out of here. OCD happy. After literally weeks of online searching, I finally found somewhere to get a new mouse like the one I have. Super funny with mice. I got a SteelSeries Rival 500. I gotta ask, Malice, does that have the clutchless scroll wheel or the free-flowing scroll wheel like the Razers and the Logitech? Because that'd be sweet if it did, because it's just really, really nice to be able to do that. Alright. I think we're all set here. Let me just go full shields and all that jazz. We got our breaknecks. We've got basically full military components on this thing. Again. Decouple mode active. Also, just finished recording today a video on flying decoupled, kind of the tutorial. Some of you guys on the Discord knew I was going to do that. That should probably be out for Thursday. I might redo it or condense it, because right now, with just the edit of me talking about decoupled flight, comes in at 30 minutes. I feel like that is way too friggin' long. So I'm going to run through that edit, and if it is just too long, I'm going to redo it and kind of like force myself to, you know, hit some key points and not talk too much, because I'll have too much fun, and before you know it, there's 45 minutes of recording, and I'm like, how did I get here? What's up, Sully? It does have some super nice extra button placement. There you go, at least you have that. Sweet, so you can put more key bindings on it. That's going to be awesome. So actually, let's see. So I want to mix it up a little bit. Crusader's kind of a hotbed for nefarious activity. This is a pretty low pop server, but I never really find myself messing around too much with the Arc Corp region. So we're going to hit up one of the moons around Arc. And, oh yeah, it only has 2, huh? Well, let's go to Illyria section. Exo-1 quantum drive, so it won't take long to get there. Mine has the option to turn on free flow. Yeah, I found out that mine has some built-in Razer software that I can have it to where it smart detects it. So it's in its geared mode until I flick hard enough, and then it releases and spins freely until it slows down enough that the gears re-engage. Which has definitely been a help for not getting too crazy with the boxes. And I like it a lot. It's been a game changer. I didn't even know it was a thing until I was messing around in like the Razer settings, and I saw like smart release. I was like, wait, what a minute? Because wait a minute, because like underneath it you have this top button that basically acts as a release, so it'll spin freely. But yeah, I can just like hit it hard enough that it'll spin, and then it'll come to a stop. And I realize it's probably not showing that to too great a degree, but for people who throw around a lot of freight and cargo, if you get your hands on a free-flowing scroll wheel, that is how you see my stuff moving so fast. Which takes a little getting used to, because you will knock out friends as well as yourself with how fast they move, especially the larger stuff that carries more inertia with it, more mass. So it takes a little bit of taming, but it's awesome. Game changer. Logitech has a physical button. Yeah, nice. I'll be launching boxes with it, exactly. I have the Razer vertical mouse. Vertical mouse? What's that? Problem is that you can knock boxes through the back wall of the freight elevator, as well as weapons and components. You will literally lose stuff if you fling things a little bit too hard without catching it. So what I like with that smart grab sort of function is I will flick it real hard, which will send the box flying, or whatever it is flying, and I've kind of like, I got like a mental calibration of when I need to stop it. So I'll grab the scroll wheel, which almost like hooks it, preventing it from flying too much farther. So it's something you learn from using. But yeah, I have lost my fair share of weapons components and even delivery box turn-ins from hitting the back wall of the elevator and basically sending the object through the physical wall in the game and losing it. It's just gone. You're not getting that back. So yeah, it's been a tough lesson to learn. You can also map a macro. Changed my life moving ice. Dude, I bet. I use boxes in PvP when pirates try to board. That's amazing. Yeah, not a bad idea. In fact, I'm really curious now. I need to look up this vertical mouse thing you're talking about. Razer vertical. There it is. I'm picturing something like really obtuse in my mind, but what the fuck? What is this witchcraft? What the actual fuck is this? Am I doing everything wrong? I'm so uncomfortable. You know, this is almost as uncomfortable to me as figuring out that my wife's finger placement when she games. Now get ready for this, guys. Get ready. You know how I think most of us can agree. I'm gonna ask you guys now. Most of us can agree that for traditional keyboard placement, you've got your middle finger that handles W and S, and your index on D, F, R, E, whatever. Your ring finger for A, Q, even Z. Your pinky for Shift, Control, yada yada. My wife never had any pre-programming, so she literally like evolved her own way of playing. Some of you might do this. Let me know. She has her placement as her pinky on A. Her ring finger controls W, S, X, Z, whatever. Her middle finger is on D. And then her index finger can reach, you know, further, handle R, T, Y, H, whatever else. She's like shifted over an entire finger when she's playing games. I didn't realize this until like maybe like a month ago when I was trying to explain Crab Champion's movement and like wondering why she has like sprint on Q and like some other placements. And I was like, my brain hurts. Why? And then I went into her office right next door and I saw where her fingers sit. And she had the audacity to say I was weird because of how my fingers were placed. But yeah, no, and that's just how she plays. And I almost think that her finger placement's superior to mine. Like, I don't know. I'm like pre-programmed by years of PC gaming now. She came in like fresh and shifted all of her fingers over. Yeah, Solace is saying I don't like it. For the mouse, right? Can't go back to a regular mouse now. Oh, okay, so maybe the mouse is like an evolution. Wait, Bender Over, you play like me or like my wife does? I have never seen someone do that. Fascinating. Yeah, they're supposed to be more relaxing and better for your hand. Okay, the mouse. Yeah. She's as bad as the vertical mouse. That's what made me think of it. That's why I brought it up. Dude, totally insane. So, Bender Over, your finger placement is similar to my wife's? Like where your ring finger is on freaking W and S? It's so uncomfortable even doing it, just kind of talking about it. But yeah, I mean, and she kicks ass. She's already like prismatic difficulty on Crabs. I mean, we'll play Borderlands and Battlefield together, all kinds of stuff. And that's how she plays like all of those games. And she builds her keybinds around that. So like, I cannot communicate about keybinds with her because it's completely shifted. So when I tell her what I'm using, it makes no sense to her. The anchor point for typing is on F. Yeah, it is, which I can see that from like her positioning, and she works on her computer, so maybe that makes sense. But even with gaming, like my index finger going between D and F is natural, so like I don't think about it. F is my interact key for like every game I play. If they have some weird keybind where like interact is E or something, I always switch it to F if I can. Sorry, I didn't mean to go on a rant about keybindings and all. I just figured some of you guys would find that interesting. Okay, so mining. Here we go. Hand mining, Shubin Interstellar. Let's see. We're over in this area. I wanted to accept this mission to see what happens. Yeah, okay. It's not too far away. So we'll head to that. So this is the start. I have not done a single hand mining mission in this, in the game since it came out. I've only done some of the salvage stuff. I've only done this in the PTU. So we're going to see what this is like.
Going? This is Jake Brogan with Shubin Interstellar.
We've got voice acting.
I'm going to be handling your contracts from here on out.
There's the...
I've got a good feeling about you.
Not helping.
We stick together and I think we'll go far. Anyway, just wanted to touch base and establish that solid working relationship foundation. Contract should have all the detail. Good luck out there.
So we don't have any voice acting from Adagio for salvage, which is kind of disappointing. Because Shubin Interstellar, maybe because it's totally fresh, they've got voice acting? That's freaking cool. We'll have a look at the Razer Tartarus Pro with optical switches. That thing's beast mode for FPS. You use axes on buttons. That's what I'm using. Okay, I'll look that up real quick before we full lock in here, because yeah, I'm curious. What is it? Sorry, Razer Tartarus. Oh God, what am I about to look at here? Oh yeah, I saw this in the picture you sent me. What the fuck is this thing? So you got the joystick, you got like a part of a keyboard, and then the scroll wheel. Dude, I feel like, I know I'm in my mid-30s, but I feel ancient looking at this new shit. Like, it's new, but it kind of looks retro at the same time. Like, this gives me like, if you were to imagine the controls in like a 1980s spaceship, it would be some shit like this. Does that make sense? Wow, not a sponsor for Razer. Just want to make that clear. Hey, I think we all have our weirdness. I have the V1 very old. That's a keypad though, not a mouse. Yeah, but I guess it does a similar track function because of the thumb placement. Bro, it's next level. Every button is optical analog. No, just no. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's a lot of my mindset. But have you guys seen the stuff that it's like a claw? Damn it! Now we're on a freaking tangent here. Hang on. Let me show you guys the weird shit that I discovered that some of you probably already know about. It's like a totally different way to experience keyboard and mouse. Yeah, this shit. This crap. As the on keypad replaces the keyboard, you will still need a mouse. I saw this and was like, is this the future of gaming? I'm giving you guys something to look into. Vertical keyboard. Oh, I know, that's just some kid using his keyboard like sideways. It's not really next level or anything. But yeah, no, this claw shit though. This stuff right here that I saw it like on Amazon. So like you would have like basically the entire function of a keyboard in this weird alien claw thing, and then your mouse. I see that weird mouse being on the USCSS Nostromo. Exactly. It's like my Razer Tartarus. Yeah, it's like a keyboard replacement. And I'm so intrigued. Let me know if you guys want me to attempt to play Star Citizen with this. Because my brain hurts now. I'm gonna get back to mining. The simple life. It's like demented evolution. I know. To quote Gunny, what is that? Yes. All right. Okay. I'm just gonna go back to my VKB flight sticks that make me feel next level enough. Yeah, I could never get used to gaming like that. I think the same, but then I also wonder, like, if I gave it like a diligent week, would it feel like a keyboard feel like ancient, antiquated tech? I use a gamepad, but that looks too weird for me. Yeah, I've got the Razer Wolverine V3 like Tournament Pro, which is basically an Xbox controller made by Wolverine. If you guys like gamepads and the Xbox feel, the Razer Wolverine is insanely good. It has mouse click sensitivity on all of the buttons. And seriously, not a sponsor of Razer by any means. I use a lot of Razer products. I have the Razer Silent keyboard, so I didn't annoy my wife in the past with all the clicky click. Because I know some people like that tactical clicking, but it would keep my wife awake in our old house because we had nothing separating our bedroom from our living room. It was pretty rough compared to what we have now. But I kind of like the silent stuff. But yeah, there you go. There's our weird dive down strange keyboards and mouses. All right. Here's a gamepad, but that looks weird. Oh, like the Razer Tartarus, not a controller. So I'm so used to controllers being called gamepads in the PC world. I always, notoriously called them controllers. But apparently in the PC world, they're often referred to as gamepads. Okay, so we arrived here without getting torped by another streamer. And we got caves around us. The next mission objective should tell us to go check out a cave or something. Or is this just our turn-in location? So I don't like to be near a point of interest for too long. Hopefully this tells us some details. Alright, we are still heading downward a little too fast. Let me get my velocity indicator above the deck. There we go. This is actually kind of beautiful. I've not really been around here much. Oh yeah, guys, sorry. Here's the look at trip line from the top. It's a lot more blacked out than I thought. I thought it was like a silver and black. But no, man, this shit is sleek, dude. It is a beautiful blacked out Hermes with sort of a grayish silver connecting the nacelles to the main body. But I really like this quite a bit. Yo, Devious, what's up? I like Razer gear as well. I used to have a Tiamat 7.1 headset. Nice. Might get another one. SE has enough binds as it is. Imagine doing all those with that. Yeah, I know. Yo, Cop Gamer, you imagine how long it would take to rebind my entire keyboard to that freaking claw, dude? Watch that be like the way to play Star Citizen, though, and we just don't even know it because it's so foreign. I also am a very firm believer in if it ain't fixed, or if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, keep things simple. But just because something looks complex doesn't necessarily mean it is. I feel like it would have to be, though, with that, like, claw setup versus just a flat keyboard with buttons you push. I don't know, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I'm intrigued, to say the least. I like changing paint jobs, but right now sticking with Lockdown because I want to see how weathered it gets. Yeah, dude. Oh, Lockdown is great. I'm curious to see if this black will get weathered like Lockdown did, but I mean, there were parts of Lockdown that were just not even yellow anymore, which I thought was really cool. Okay, so I do have to go back over here. Maybe I have to get closer to get it to actually tell me an objective? See, it should be transferring us to a different objective now, but it's not. And I'm super uncomfortable being over here. We got a lot of rafts. So there's like a random C2. We got stuff that are just like not doing too hot. I think this mission is bugged. Because we're not getting any... Man, this makes me feel like we're on Luna. Walla is giving me straight up Luna vibes. And I'm here for it. Except I don't think Luna has... Well, I don't know, honestly, if Luna has thick enough mountains like this. That'd be pretty sick. Maybe we'll try a different mission, because this seems to be busted. Still need to figure out how to configure my HOTAS by 52s. I'm so locked into keybinds, it's hard to get myself to switch over for flying. Yeah, honestly, it takes time. My advice is maybe different than some others. I think you should take it, like, kind of chill. Like, bind the necessities that you really need to fly. And then kind of, like, figure out as you're playing what feels like it should go in certain places. You know, I did it very organically like that. It took a while before I had, like, my full flight bindings really set. And I probably still have a few things that I could change. Alright, well, let's just kick that. He's going to probably yell at us or say something sad. We're going to try again. Because that mission didn't give us any follow-up objective. It's supposed to basically be like, go to this place, and then it should say, go to a nearby cave. But then once you get that objective, all you have to do is source the material. Then you just turn it back in at the place it originally told you to go to. This one's only, it's less than 500 clicks away, so we'll do that. Mining area 061. See, the tricky part, or the potentially dangerous part, is that these are at POIs, points of interest. So with that comes some inherent risk.
Because they deliver what they promise. That starts at the top and goes all the way down. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. He's yelling at us.
This is Jake Brogan with Shubin Interstellar. I'm gonna be handling your contracts from here on out. I've got a good feeling about you. We stick together and I think we'll go far.
Yeah, he wasn't too happy with us for quitting on that. I'm going to make myself a little bit smaller here. I don't need to take up that much space. Alright, that should be good.
Good luck out there.
There are PRIs with Armistice? Yeah, but you can also be just outside of Armistice, like we saw with that one time that a fellow streamer was on and torped my prospector as I was coming in. So just trying to, you know, avoid the BS where possible. I hate when it wants you to go back to the main planet before navigating to the space around the same exact freaking moon, dude. So we're just not going to navigate. We're going to blind jump to it, utilizing whatever POI is next to it. There we go. Just like that. Tip for any new players, save a copy of your keybinds every time you change something. Yes. I drag and drop mine right to my desktop. It's sitting right there, and I date it. You know, tip to add on to Solace's tip. Give it a simple date, like June 2026, like 0626. That way, if you've got a few keybinds, you don't confuse like 2024s with 2026s with 20, like whatever, like whenever you change stuff. Like that way you know the most recent keybind set you have. Probably good to delete the one before that, unless it's a setup that was different enough that you might want to go to at some point, but you know, that's on you. I had to start the mission over to get the prompt. Oh, you did too? Okay. Been rocking the olive green. Let me switch to that one. Yeah, I've got the honor bound livery with this, but I'm not gonna lie, man. It doesn't vibe with me. It's not enough that it's concierge. It's gotta like look good to me, and I think this looks freaking sharp. This is probably gonna be the livery I stick with, but Lockdown is my other one that I really like. The yellow and black industrial look. It's clean. A trip line though, hot damn. That is a sharp look. I like it. Alright, so it looks like we got a lot of water deposits out here. What is that? We got an Aurora or something chilling up there. Always cautious of other ships around me. Super Cup, what's up? The new salvage rookie missions were doing the same thing. Tried 4 contracts. None got the second marker once I arrived. Man, okay, that's not great. I had a pretty decent one. YouTube stream info, check DM. Get Discord up. Go. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, there we go. Now we got locate nearby cave. That's good. Is it still acting up? Maybe if I wipe it a little bit, it'll fix. Thank you for the note, though. Oh, damn it. Moved it. Hopefully it's not knocked out of position like crazy. Let's try... Go. It's a little cleaner. Hated my YouTube name. Change it closer to my SC handle for the org. Wait, who is this? Who's Super Cop here? No game sound. Yeah, because I'm alt tabbed out looking at Discord at the moment. Sorry. Doing a little back end stream management. We'll get back to it just a sec. If I can get my life together here. Okay, back to the goodies. All right, thank you though, On to Flow. Appreciate it. It's always helpful when I can get some feedback from the audience. That's why I'm not bothering with. Oh, we are in the free fly. Yeah, you're right, Devious. That's a solid point. Free fly is probably making a lot of things a problem. You've had me at it for a while. My handle is. Oh, okay, I got you. Well, cool to have you, Super Cop. I like it. All right, so nearby cave, we were kind of moving a bit, so. See if we pick up a cave. Hey, look at that Hadanite. That's worth grabbing just to have more of it. I like that we can see the words. Okay, but where, oh where? Oh, there must be a little bit of an atmosphere, because we're actually experiencing some deceleration. A very, very slow amount. Yo, Yorkie, what's up? Can't get that paint job in the UK, and then half the time the game makes him disappear. Mono green paint gone. We'll have to wait till the next patch update. Yeah, that's what I did as well. I lost my my lockdown. Granted, yeah, you can get it back with a melt and rebuy. Yeah, we got Had Night on board, but I'd like to go ahead and grab this anyway. But where? Hold on. So we're only 5 kilometers away from the main area. We'll keep that in mind, given the vector we're looking at. So we're heading 350, which is awesome. I like that we actually have a heading to reference that direction. So we need to basically move around bearing 180 to get back to the Had Night, just in case we lose it. So, sweet. Yeah, and that's what I figured. There's got to be a cave near the POI, which I've already lost. Wait, what the fuck? Am I over it? Acting like an amateur at the moment. Hang on. We got to find where the hell the POI just went. There it is, right below us. Okay, cool. Alright, so being here, we'll scan out. Our radar is picking up stuff pretty close by. Let me zoom out to 60 kilometers. There we go. We got Aphorite down to the left, which is awesome. Come on, give me the cave. There should be a cave that pops up on our heads-up display. It's just, it might get washed out by scanners doing that thing where UI is disappearing pretty quickly. I noticed before 5 I just switched to a new paint. I lost the one I switched from, but if I unequip the current paint, then first equip the new one, it was okay. Well, weird, so it might have been eating your paint. That's not great. Okay, we're going to try a bit of a different tactic here. Since the cave thing is being a little annoying, we're going to pick up some speed. And see if we can find the first cave that pops up. Unknowns will typically show themselves as what they actually are once you get close enough to them. Got a Dolivine deposit. At least being out here, we shouldn't have any like creatures or animals that mess with our scanning. Unknowns. Aphorite. Now, I'm seeing good minables that we're going to want, but we need to trigger the next part of the objective by finding the cave, which is frustrating. Tons of Aphorite. Good, good, good. Pretty sure that was one of the ones I was struggling to find. Minor bound livery for my Hermes is missing for me. Kind of sucks. Damn, sorry to hear that. I know I might not be the biggest fan of it, but that sucks that it's just not there. You know, these ridges are crazy out here, man. Galactic, okay. Where the heck is our caves, man? I figured they might be closer to where these mountains are, but struggling a little bit. Moth liveries are missing too. So I do want to make sure I let you guys know, and forgive me if you already know this, but your liveries will always be at your original home spawn location, just in case anybody doesn't know that. And I don't know if something like a character repair would get those back. You know, to Edric's point earlier in the stream, you can melt and rebuy them to get them to potentially spawn. I know it's a little bit of extra work, but, you know, you might think that that's worth it. More Hadonites. Still no freaking cave, dude. Before, man, the caves were just popping up. Sport got my honor-bound livery for me, but it took some time. As part of the process, they reattributed my Hermes without the paint and gave me the paint separate, which means I lost components I'd bought and put on it. Yeah. Yeah, I know that pain. Okay, so this is frustrating. I went to support, they said there's nothing they can do. See, that's frustrating. Understandably so. It'd be nice to just be given some sort of nudge of like, hey, you could try this maybe? See if it works. Man. It's really chill flying over this landscape. I tell you what, man. Not a cave was seen. It says, as long as it's in your hangar, you still have it. Yeah. In theory, I guess, right? I mean, rest assured, at least they should come back in 4.7. But if they never showed up, that's a different level of irritation. And that's not like it got consumed. It's not showing up like it's supposed to. You paid for a product, you should get your product. Now, I say that without knowing the specifics of each individual case, I realize, but, you know, as a customer. Yeah, they sure do. They were showing up on the first location that we jumped to. They're just not showing up now. It would be just like what you're seeing with the Baradom and the Hadnite and the Aphorite, but it would be an arrow that just says cave. For whatever reason, this particular area is just missing caves. I was kind of hoping they'd be a little bit closer to these mountains, which is why I'm trying to fly around them. Might have to do the mission again just to get a damn spot that's going to spawn caves so we can move forward here. Because I've got no doubt that I have the product we need to complete the mission. We just need a damn cave. It just says locate a nearby cave. Do we remember what that first place I went to was called? I don't know. If anybody can find that and let me know, I'll just go back to that one for the cave's sake and see if it prompts the next mission. Because it's not going to be a specific cave. It's just a cave. So these are the start of the hand mining missions. Part of the mining and salvage package that's meant to help new players out. This would be a little bit annoying from a new player standpoint. I can say that much for sure. Problem is now when you find a cave, it won't be close enough to count. That's, well, I'm curious about that. They're supposed to be close to the hand-in. I recognize that. But around Arc Corp 61, I haven't found a single friggin' cave. Let's turn around and see if we can get back to it. I know I didn't go that far away. Jeez. Hang on. Is that it there? It should be. Yeah, we're 30 kilometers away. Alright, we'll head back that direction. Let's see. Get back to the drop-off location, hover for a second, then do a scan from there. I've never had one that was further than a single ping scan range. Yeah, I mean, I'll do that again. I've done that a few times. I'll sit there, though. We'll sit and chat and scan and see what's up. Enjoy the scenic looks of Walla on our way. Found a ship out in space with 16K from the mission marker. Again, took salvage to station, put on elevator, and did not count. That's lovely. Yeah, the low flying is always nice, right? I agree. It's relaxing as hell. Alright. So we have arrived. Go ahead and slow down. Try not to whack into anything. I will wait till we're nice and pretty above the location. We will chill here for a sec. Catch our shadow on the ground. That's pretty cool. Alright. Reducing our speed. Setting my parking brake. Let's check out what we got. So that's the Hadnite out in the distance. It should just say cave, Aphorite quartzite deposit, igneous deposit, no cave icon hiding amongst that, right? Don't think so. Easy way to find caves, to do something else and not look for caves. Facts. Oh! Oh shit! Look guys! Devil Doc saving the day again. There we go. And one cave marker hiding amongst everything else. I say all we got to do is get close to it, which sucks. But there we go. Bam. Now it doesn't matter. Now we can just turn this shit in. All we had to do was find the damn cave. So credit where credit's due. Devil Doc for the win, man. All right, so just hang out around the area, rotate and ping that shit. I thought it'd be a little bit more obvious, but given the white background, the color of the text and all, a little tough to see. But we got it, man.
Landing complete.
A little bouncy on that landing there. Turning off our engine so we don't go hovering. And we're just going to turn this in to move on. So 15 Aphorite, $20 fine, and 5 Hadanite. If I don't have that already from all the mining I did preempting this, I will be disappointed. Let's go ahead and hydrate real quick. Our cargo grid is currently full of life support, which is great, so we'll go ahead and drink in here. We won't spend too much time here, because point of interests, man, they always worry me. I know we're in armistice, but I still can't help to be like, I don't like it. The kangaroo landing. Yeah, it was a little rough, right? We were coming in slow, too. I'm usually a bit more refined than that. The Hermes can take it, man. Built tough. Might be RSI, but I'm pretty sure it's because they poached some Drake engineers. Damn things will be popping up all over the place then, right? Hopefully you have plenty of gems in case it doesn't work the first time. Yeah, we got tons of gems. We were doing this for a while before the missions came out just because I knew it was going to be like 2 weeks before we saw these missions. There's a bit of effort just besides the cargo elevator where you landed. Yeah, at least there's tons of supplies out here. Okay, so, hold on. 15, 20, 5. 5 Hadanite. $20 vine, I'm pretty sure. So, I mean, if this tells you anything, it's good to just mine this stuff in mass. That way you can turn it in. Aphorite was 15, right? Yeah, we're sitting pretty, guys. We might be able to do a few of these missions. Let's go, dude. 15, 25. Oh, wait a minute. How am I going to turn these in? No, we found out, Doc. It was all 3, remember? I want that ship you're using. Yeah, the Hermes, baby. Let's go. Hang on. If I send the whole box down, do you guys think it'll just take what it needs? Because I just realized, like, am I going to drop these individually? That part I don't remember. Oh, collect and deliver one of the following. It says it in the fucking description. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, read the contracts. You're right. You're right. See, when we did the testing in the PTU, it was all of the above. I remember that. That's why that's what I was thinking of. Well, I guess. All right. We'll just drop some in the GEO box and maybe send that down. That's not a bad idea. Words are hard. Yeah, exactly. There we go. All right. Well, fine. We will just do this one. I submitted all 3 and it ate all 3. Damn. Oh, wow. Uh-oh. I shouldn't do that. Well, I can get in through the other entry point. Since we got 2, yay. I was too far back. Still worked. Huh. In the PTU, I was dropping more than needed. It took what contract needed, and then put like a 2SU box back into my inventory. Interesting. All right. Well, we will see what happens. I'll just drop that, and then I will actually grid it, because I think that's important, that you actually grid it. Oh, hang on. I am not doing anything until I touch this terminal. Just a good habit to have. Hey, look. Random mineable. Hey, look, another one. Yeah, I'll take those. Did I throw the box down too hard that it spat those out? That's kind of funny. Okay. Now we'll grid it. And send it down. Hopefully this works. Oh, wait. I might have been standing in the area. Hang on. There we go. Yep, I was too close to the elevator. Well, Hermes, when I got QT Snare leaving Levski heading to the Stanton Gateway, I made the Mantis and Corsair regret it. Hermes is a pretty capable ship. Yeah, Solus, I did the same. So actually, good little PTSA, what is it? Parent? Teacher? What? What? PSA, sorry. There are a lot of would-be, wannabe pirates that are camping Levski to Stanton and Levski to Pyro, especially Levski to Stanton. So, dogleg that travel. I know we only have 3 points of interest, so if you're heading from Stanton to Levski, dogleg to Pyro Gateway for like 5 to 10 seconds, and then to Levski. Use one of the other points to get around it. Just, it's a hot zone right now. That didn't count any of my fucking turning. Need to use a terminal to drag stuff out of the box and into the local inventory, bring it up, and send it back down. Okay. Well, I'm glad you've done some work here, Doc. Shit. Okay. Let's try that. Wait. Use the terminal. Nah, you would see the contract filling part come up before it, yeah, the boxes across the board, yeah. Hold up. Oh, the bitch. What terminal? Really? Alright, hold up. I've never had to do that shit before. Hang on. Take everything out, bring it up, and send it back down. So, send it down and then do that, and then send it back up? This is gonna be frustrating as shit, isn't it? No, box and inventory, open box, move stuff to local. Alright, Doc, I'm in the live stream voice. Help me out. I'm feeling retarded right now. Sometimes written explanations just don't make any sense.
All right, man. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So send the box down.
All right, it's down.
Okay. Now go back into the terminal.
Mm-hmm.
Drag the box over to the left. Or move it to the elevator, but don't bring it up.
Okay.
Now, double click on the box.
Okay.
There's nothing in the box.
I think it's loading. Hang on. All right, move it over. Double click. This is fucking stupid.
You lost your stuff. So you need to put some more stuff in it and then follow this. When you double click the box, the stuff will be in there. Then you drag the stuff that's in it over into the warehouse inventory. And then you bring your box up and then send the elevator back down and then send the elevator back down, bring the stuff over to the elevator, bring it up, and then send it back down.
Wow. Okay, how long did it take you to figure that out? Because that is the dumbest...
I do it with my backpack. I just take my backpack off and set it on the thing, send it down, drag the stuff out of it, bring it up, and I'm done.
Okay.
I don't worry about boxes.
Still, that is the dumbest fucking sequence of events.
It's idiotic, yeah. There should be a terminal there that you could just drop the stuff off like the local inventory terminals, but That's
or
not the way
it
they
just
designed it.
reads the damn box with the stuff in it. All right. There we go. This box has stuff in it. Let's see. Try to do this again. Yeah, that's annoying. This was the workaround when the rock bags were broken. Okay. All right, so drop the fucking thing down. Got it. And
Yeah, lock it to the grid.
yep. All right. Send it down.
I'm watching on a delay, so I'm not quite seeing what you're
Oh,
doing.
you're fine. No worries. Well, okay. Apparently it didn't like that. Let's try again. This has been an issue for quite a few patches. Can't believe it's not corrected yet. I can, honestly.
I absolutely believe that it's not fixed.
Okay, so we got... Son of a bitch. We got both down here now. Should have taken the other one off the fucking elevator. Alright, so send it over. Double click.
Yeah, just take that one
There
over.
we go.
Move the stuff out of it.
Okay.
Over onto the other side. Yep. Drag
Just
that
gonna
stuff
exit
to the
terminal
warehouse.
because it's being stupid.
Okay, now close that on the... There you go. That works too. Now bring
I
that
backed
stuff
out
up.
just to make sure I don't fuck up
Yeah.
any steps here. Okay, drag it over, bring it up, send it down.
Yep.
Wow.
When you bring it
Yeah.
up, you'll see all 5 of them sitting in the back right corner of the elevator.
Yeah, there they
All
are.
stacked nicely.
Okay. And then now it should give me the...
Now you can just send them down.
There it is.
Yep.
Yep, there it is. All right. Yeah, I'll make a video even if it's just a fucking 2-minute video on this crap because hot damn, that was something that through text on a fucking stream, I was just going to be scratching my head like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, it's idiotic.
It's totally idiotic. But thank you so much for helping me with that, man, because
Yeah.
that would have... Fuck, that would have been stupid. All right, and then apparently the other
Hey,
box just
Sugar.
got eaten, so there's nothing on it
Call me
anymore.
For a job well done.
All right, viewers,
Payment
back
should
to your
be
regularly scheduled programming.
Give a holler.
Later.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Thank you. Yeah, big shout out to Doc there for helping me out on that. That is just stupid. Man, all of you guys that have been dealing with that problem, my heart goes out to you. Holy shit, that's a mess. Yeah, I'll check the boxes once I get them back in the ship. That's a good idea for sure, just to make sure, just in case the other 5 Hadnite might still actually be in that box. And thanks to everybody who's trying to help explain that. That's admittedly tough to make a whole lot of sense in a live stream environment, especially with delays and all that jazz. So, yeah, wow. That sucks. Oh, man. I don't think we actually got to the turn-in part in the PTU. Actually, I think Doc might have been one of the only ones that was when we were doing the PTU testing, which makes sense. First heard about this technique for Wicklow turn-ins. Yeah, I could see that. You don't know the pain of rented dung missions? I don't. I definitely don't. Oh, man. Just the annoyance of trying to figure that out would probably make me not want to do these anymore. But now that I know the sequence, it's not so bad. It's one of those things where, okay, I know the stupidity that I have to do to make it work. Therefore, I can now make it work. We'll get through this. But yeah, I need to check these to see if... Should be able to just open this sucker from here. I can't wait for the proximity stuff to be able to bring this to us, which is going to be sweet. Is it this one that I did? I'll check all 4, but we might have lost that Hadnite, which is fine. We have plenty. We got a delay. Give it a sec. At least it works. Over options to start dropping them one by one. Yeah, that sounds horrible. Okay, this one's not wanting to bring up our inventory. Let's try again. Jeez, dude. Wicklow turn-ins are way easier because Wicklow has those local inventory terminals where you can just drag stuff out of your backpack. Good point. Kind of like the storage terminals at like ASD facilities and shit, you know, where you can actually interact with this stuff properly. That makes sense. So this one's being dumb. I'm just going to pick it up and see if maybe I can get its inventory to pop for us. Because this might be the one that has the Hadnite in it. Hey! Or Dullivine. No, I'm confused. Whatever. But no, we didn't lose the materials at least, which is good. So let me just drop this. That's not what I wanted. Thank you. Drop it. We'll just regrid it. Cool. So what do we have on us? What is this? Aphorite, Dolivine, Aphorite. Okay, we turned in the Hadnite. There we go. Sure. That works. Alright. Next mission. Testament on how good this game is, the amount of jank we're willing to deal with to play it. Yeah, that's also true. Workaround citizen, man. Workaround citizen. So that is the first mission. Now we got a couple others. They're the bigger ones. 80 Aphorite, 100 Dolivine, and 25 Hadnite. Right here at 061. So cool, we can just turn these in then. This one is all the above, I believe. These are the missions that we were doing, I think, in the PTU. We had to do all of these. So 80, 100, 25. 80, 100, 25. Okay. So, we're going to try this a different way.
Jake Brogan from Shubin here. Glad to see you picked up another contract. Let's use the PAT approach. Preparation, action, and thoroughness. Good luck.
Ship mining should also be unlocked. Okay, yeah, we'll check those too. Let's see. Hope Deadwake and everyone's had a fabulous weekend. Thank you, Trackley. It's been a pretty good one. I spent a good amount of time trying to record some content for Star Citizen and hanging out with my wife. It's a relaxing weekend. Okay, so I hope this doesn't break anything. I'm doing it for you guys, for science. 80, 100, 25. Remember that. So, okay. Let's go. Sweet armor. Oh, yeah, my, this stuff. It's the UEE GCD Army Corps stuff plus the skull helmet, which goes really well with it, actually. I like it. Alright. So, send this over. Double click. Bam! There's all the shit. Alright, so Aphorite was 80. Oh, shit. Motherfucker. Alright, I want to try this the way I was before. 8-0. Split. Nope. Nope. Not doing it. We are going to split this before we send it down. Wait a minute. So the split function does not work inside. There we go. This will work though. Alright. 80. Dolivine was 100. It's going to be almost everything we have here. And then Hadnite was 25? Yeah, 25. So 80, 100, 25. Okay. Alright, so you're going to want to do the splits before you send it down. I don't know why I clicked on it, because it is a nightmare trying to split it inside the box. The split function, oh no. Okay. Oh man, that was about to be worrisome. The split function in the new inventory setup, as you can imagine, is a shitload better. Okay. 80. 25. 100. Oh, this is not working out the way I would wanted it to. Felt that right with you then. Thought that box was eaten for a second. Yeah, don't back out. Just close the box after dragging it. How do you close the box, though? Like, there's no way to close shit from here. There's... Oh, that. Okay. Well, just back away and wait a minute. That's what we're gonna do. We're not gonna overthink it. Take a swig of sweet tea. Thanks for the follow, Francisco. This is a total nightmare. Is there an issue console for this? I'm gonna check that. Alright. Move my damn phone out of the way. This is not good. This is really not good. What would I even search for on issue console? Boxes change in surface elevators? Cargo elevator box bug. This might be it. Load cargo. Get land clearance. Unload cargo. Get error message with boxes is error code. No, that's not it. That was also archived. I'm just thinking that, like, this might be an issue console that I can create. Like, we totally put down an 8 SCU box, and it turned into 2 GEO resource pods. Oh, okay, yeah, thank you for that. All right, hang on. Actually, let me take a screenshot of this. Because we are going to make an issue console for this. It's also one of the ways you get into the Evocati. Oh, wait a minute. This location only has the one elevator, brother. There's no other landing zone or other freight elevator. QR code would matter for the video, but... I mean, I'll do it anyway. It's fine. Alright, screenshot saved. Turn that shit off because the QR code drives me fucking nuts. Alright. For the sake of time, we're gonna... Wow. It's like it knew. I turned on the QR code and the game is like, oh fuck, I gotta act right now. That's hilarious. So yeah, back in lag. Alright. That's still... I'm making an issue console on that because that's dumb. So what was that roughly 2 minutes-ish? 2 to 3 minutes? QR code allows them to more easily see the information, I believe, on the game session, based on what DevilDoc has told me when it comes to doing issue console stuff. Please correct me if I'm wrong in that. It's taking me 2 minutes to put a bottle of cruise in my hand. Yeah, and this is, well, let's check the shard we're in, too. We got 30 FPS. We are in an Australian shard, shard 40. Wow, there we go. How's that for a sight, right? That's interesting. Shows up properly, at least, so that worked. Wonder if I can see the rep before it happens. Shubin Interstellar. Neutral. At the U. Let's see if it just changed. That's a good jump. From about the middle of the U to there. That's a pretty healthy jump. Not bad. Does IC let you submit video? I feel like uploading a few minutes of video of this stream would be good evidence. Yeah, you can. You can select like a segment of a YouTube video for it. So I might just clip out a portion of the stream to show that as well. It's a good idea. But there we go. Let's get that box back though. Let's not leave without that. It's kind of valuable. It has a whole bunch of shit in it. Now our Corp TDD doors are bugged. The server I'm on, just like AA. Lovely. Well, given how much that ate of what we have on board, I discovered that if you loot components at Aberdeen PAFs and put them on your ship's cargo grid, your ship catches on fire. Yikes. It's not good. I don't think we'd have enough Dullavine to do another mission. Let's see what missions pop up here. Oh, there is a ship mining mission. Collect and deliver one of the following. Deliver to Shubin facility. 4 SU of aluminum, 4 SU of tungsten, 4 SU of corundum. Now, this doesn't need to be refined, right? This is just raw ore, possibly? Damn, it's another 80, 125. That's a lot of hand minables to level that up. You get less pay for the ship one. It has to be refined. Okay. But this gives you a reason to go for aluminum, corundum, tungsten, all that shit. I used a golem for that and split the aluminum off to refine separately. Nice. Okay. It doesn't say ore. Yeah, good point. Good point. Interesting. Okay. So this next one, 80, 125. So getting the just sheer amounts of Dullavine is probably going to be the biggest challenge. Here, I can move these over. Aphorite to Aphorite. Dullavine to Dullavine. We got Femoline and Baradom.
Brogan here. Just wanted to thank you. Could really use your help bringing up my closeout numbers for the month.
Are the ship mined ore missions behind rep, or can you get those from the beginning? You have to at least do the first mission, I think, and then you get access to the ship mining. It was 1 minute and 36 seconds, just reviewed. Oh, thanks, dude. Appreciate that. So, okay, not quite 2 minutes. So, decent, about 1.5 minute lag between correcting the issue with the boxes that were showing up, so that's good. We need to get ourselves about 80 Dullavines, so time to get back in the ship and get to the mining. So, source a buttload of Dullavine, guys. If it's 100 per turn-in, that is a decent amount. That's about a single full, grouping of Dullavine for a mission. It doesn't take long to really get it. I'll show you guys what I mean. I mean, we can crack it with the GEO and then suck it all up with the ROC, so it shouldn't take long, but we're going to find out. That's what we're here to test. Higher level missions are rep locked. Oh, of course, but the starting of the ship mining stuff is pretty much after the first tutorial mission, or not tutorial mission, but like intro mission is done. Plenty of it out there. Yeah, absolutely. It's also going to be good incentive to take out the mining vessels and just go grab as much of pretty much everything you can think of. Just going to grid that up, close this. Let's go find ourselves some Dullavine and get to work. I'd rather not do it too close to the point of interest, but actually, let's see. About 100 people in game. 9 people in the current server were on. This isn't horrible. Why not just crack them with the ROC if you gotta use it anyway? Because it sucks right now. Solely because the alignment of the ROC is off. You have to do it by feel, which you totally can. It's just not quite as fast as breaking it all with the GEO and then sucking it up with the ROC. Until they fix the ROC's laser calibration issue, to get the laser to actually hit the ROC, you lose all of the data on the ROC. At least that has been the case. We will try it to see if it's fixed, but I don't think it is. Alright, we got Aphorite there. We need Dullavine. We got plenty of Aphorite right now. I don't remember what heading I saw Dullavine on. We got plenty of Aphorite and Hadnite. You need very little Hadnite for these, so a deposit of Hadnite should be like 3 missions worth of Hadnite, which is pretty cool. Yeah, there's the Hadnite we had found. The GEO is more fun, honestly. A bit less of a pain to use. I prefer the GEO, yep. I wish it carried more, but that's where using the GEO to grab the stuff and then using the ROC to suck it all up is a pretty solid strategy. That's Baradom, alright. Let's see, unknown. Still unknown. Aphorite, nope, we need Dullavine. I'm wondering how much Dullavine it'll take to get out of neutral. Because I'd imagine you would probably shift to Baradom, Glacosite, Fenmaline once we rank up. Can GEO fit in any other ship that can suck up the pieces, like a bigger ROC? Well, eventually, if they do what I want them to do with the mole, that'll be an amazing combo. You can have the mole with the GEO in the back, but currently, no. As far as mining vessels go, there's nothing else that can hold it. Let's see what we got over here. Glacisite. That's not what we need. I did see some Dolomite out here. I just don't know what direction it was. It's actually a good question. Has anybody tried that? Like cracking gems with a GEO or a ROC and then seeing if a prospector or something could pull it in? That might be a fun little test to do sometime. I didn't think about that. Never had a situation arise where that question would come up, honestly. That's just unknown perpetually? Okay. I hope they put the moth cargo elevator in the mole. That would be epic. I agree. I think that that is absolutely the answer. I think that basically the mole should just get the entire moth rework, just obviously having only what the mole needs, and it would be amazing. 100%, man. How cool would it be to have a GEO stuffed on your mole so that you could just go do hand minables while you have your mole out there as well? Come across whatever you need, be able to do it all? That sounds amazing. I know we should be able to do that with the Arastra. It should definitely have a cargo bay that could support probably several GEOs. That would be a fun operation. Getting a Arastra out. There we go. Delavine. Yeah, I can't wait to see more on that. Having a Arastra with a bunch of, like, storage boxes and GEOs and rocks on board, too. You could have a full mining operation solely using one ship. Yeah, this thing's vertical deceleration is horrible. That looks like a wonderful landing zone right there, man. Look how flat this is. That is perfect. Well, kind of perfect. Except I landed too far that way. All right.
Landing complete.
It's misleading. It looks like it's flat. Flat enough. Let's see. Kind of like that. There we go. That's what we want. What the F? That is not what we want. I want to be on our landing gear. Seriously. Alright, whatever, man. That'll work. Gem mining in the prospector sounds good, except your beam is too strong and it pops them almost instantly. Yeah, for sure. The game heard you say it was a good landing area. Yeah, no doubt, dude. It's a good landing area, you say? No, sir. Not today. OCD parking. Yeah, I have some issues. I wish they would use the cluster gem terminals to deliver gems for the missions. That would be pretty sweet. Honestly, they should be able to implement that, right? That's not a bad idea. Yeah, ball plan. I don't know. That's actually a good question there. Alright. Let's go get this. God, I love this thing. Bam! Alright. So, for this, we want to definitely go low power mode. Otherwise, it'll be a very bad day. You hit Alt-4 for that. And then it's just a matter of getting this shit mined. So, got a pretty good method here. Bump it up. And then kick it down to like 30%. 25 is pretty good there. We're going to let that cook up. And then switch to the next one. So we move this along pretty fast. Alright, on to this one. By the time it scans, we'll be in there. Perfect. Get it up high enough. We dip down to about 30%. A little lower for this one. 25 seems good. Let it cook, and then we'll shift to the next one. Kick it up. We're scanning. We're in there. Perfect. This is how I do it to speed this process up. Kick it down to in the 20s. Perfect. We got a flow now. We'll bust through all these real fast. We'll see how much we actually pull in. That should be plenty. The goal is to get it high enough in the green that when I leave it, it'll be able to continue fracturing while I move on. We're kind of testing our limits here a little bit. Kick it up. This is why it's faster. I'm not worried about picking it up with the GEO, so I can just break everything and then come out with the ROC and just hoover it all into the ROC and leave. Move on. Kick it up. I do this type of mining and the Nomad's really nice and easy to get in and out. Hell yeah. What's your opinion of the Reclaimer now with all the changes? I'm debating picking one up. Rage Gaming, which changes are coming to mind for you? I don't know of any changes recently that are really affecting the Reclaimer personally. The Reclaimer is an amazing ship. Definitely recommend it for most people. Speed mining, that's how it's done. Yep. Still ain't mining. What do you mean, Devious? I'm curious. I might have missed the lead up to that. Crafting and construction materials. Oh! Well, I mean, I think the Reclaimer is still going to be an incredible vehicle for that. I haven't seen anything that really changes it to where I wouldn't choose it. Especially since you can break down everything, and with the Reclaimer, you have, I think, the highest yield of, the highest quality of materials with the construction salvage versus construction rubble and construction pieces. Oh, I get it. Like, you're personally not somebody who's into mining. That's fair. That's fair. It's just not your shtick. Not your cup of tea. I don't blame you one bit. It's not for everybody. I enjoy it. It's relaxing and cool for me. Especially once you start to get this kind of a flow and you just, I mean, that time that you guys saw with my Hermes being like all busted up, like the paint, all the heavy use, this is what I was doing. I was out doing all this mining, really mastering the GEO and the ROC combo, which is why it was disappointing when the ROC started to glitch through the floor of my Hermes. I was like, man, come on. You're messing with my flow, man. We had such a good thing going. See, we're already almost done with this patch. I heard the ground can only hold about 130 before the gems start despawning. That's probably not inaccurate. I don't know. I guess we'll see how much we pull in. If we pull in more than that, then we prove that wrong, right? Science. I don't really know the average of how many per rock piece come out. It's like 7 or 8 per piece. Probably still faster doing it this way, even with the loss, though. If I was to guess. For these missions, I'm definitely going in this, like, efficiency-wise. Is it 10 per? Okay, so this is a good chunk of rocks then. Alright, let's see if that one breaks. I left it a little earlier. I want to see if it's going to actually fracture. It did! Hell yeah. Nice. Yo, Cap, you missed us really messing around with a very pain-in-the-ass elevator that I'm probably going to put an issue council in for. That's about it, though. And the first mission not showing us objectives properly, so we're cooking now, man. We're almost done busting up this Dolivine patch to see how much we pull in. Showing off my newly acquired GEO skills. Let's see if that's enough to break that one. So the rocks can keep on fracturing while I move on. Nice. This is what I call an efficient operation, baby. Let's go. I'll see, we're further away, so we need more laser power to keep it higher. Alright, moving to the last one. So mine was actually falling like all the way towards the back wall, like not too far from where the components of the ship are. And in fact, it was doing that throughout the entire cargo area of the Hermes. I brought it on the ship like 3 times to see And it just kept falling out. It's a real pain in the ass, man. Woo! Man, this thing is such a blast to use, dude. The GEO is so much fun. Alright, we'll move it back here so we got enough room to bring this out. Yeah, I'm not sure what prompted the ROC to start having its problems. It was shitty, though. Alright. Yeah, we're going to see, guys. I'm here to do that test. We'll see how many of the gems actually despawn. Do all the GEOs jump, or is it just the Wicklow special? Not Wicklow, it's just the GEO. So, yeah, they all have the jetpacks. I think even the ICT has the jetpacks. Alright, let's see if we can actually get out of this properly. Time to go pick up the gems and see if they really need to worry about doing it the way I just did it. To the right? Yeah. Let's see if they all despawned.
Fracturing mode on.
That looks like a lot of gems, guys. I don't know. Let's find out.
Extraction mode.
Oh, yeah, that calibration's still way off. Look how far to the right the laser is from the crosshair. So another thing I like to do is kind of put the crosshair right there and then just drive this around and pull the stuff in. You don't want to move too much because you might fling the Dullavine, so you want to be a little bit patient with it. But I'll also do it this way to just kind of vacuum it all in, because you can leave it on while you drive. Yeah, it's still pretty bad. That's why I pretty much just use the ROC for the cleanup crew. As long as your radar's on, you can see everything. Just gonna give it a second to pull all this in. Oh, really? Basic T no jump, but Wicklow ICT does jump. That's quite the incentive to get the Wicklow version. Okay, I think we might have got everything. Now let's check and see if any of it landed behind us, like got thrown. Nope. Alright, now here's the other test. Let's see how much we actually pulled in. Okay. $111, guys. That's pretty good. That's a whole mission's worth right there. What do you guys think? I didn't count how many rocks there were per 10, but that's 11 little rocks worth that all stayed. We'll do it some more. We'll do it again. We'll count. We'll keep track. Whoa, that actually showed more. Now it's showing 139. It's showing more every time we look at it. What? 144? Holy shit. I don't think I lost any. I think it was just delayed. That's like 14 freaking stones worth if it's 10 per. Holy cow. Okay, so it was like not rendering fully, or maybe that's what people think about losing it. Maybe try going into your inventory a couple of times. It looks like 144 is the number we landed on. Because I know there was some weird stuff. Yeah, back-end lag. I think you're right. I think there was some weird stuff in the PTU testing where like Doc and I would have like 70 in our bag, and then we would keep breaking and look again, and we had like 10. And then it would randomly show up. For me, it randomly showed up again, but I think he actually lost his. I don't know. It's weird. Alright, so we're going to get in and actually transfer this stuff to the 8 SCU box, which, man, it's going to make me really wish I had the proximity inventory system. Let's come back this way. We don't want to hit the tractor beam because that can be a pain in the ass. And then, yeah, that backup camera needs to be calibrated because look how it made it look like we were right on top of it. But this is a good position to be in so you can just do a rapid transfer. Okay. I want to transfer this just in case there is any weirdness. And I usually have to split it up in groups of 50 to get it to actually populate properly. There we go. That's not bad. Do that. So this is where having the proximity system is going to be so much nicer. Probably could have just split these all before I did that. There we go. Come on. That was pretty good. That didn't take long. And I don't really think we lost anything doing it that way, so there might be some risk to it, but that was pretty sweet. I'm after one of those jumpy shooty, hell yeah. ATLS with tractor can't jump, ATLS GEO can, not sure. They say, yeah, so apparently Devious, the Wicklow ICD can jump, but the regular ICD can't. I just want ATLS that jumps. Moving around like that is just nice. I agree. I mean, honestly, give all of the ATLS's jump packs. I don't really think that that does anything to the gameplay that would negatively impact or imbalance stuff. You know how cool the ATLS, the standard cargo ATLS would be with the ability to jump? Oh, see, I don't know how many versions there are. Sorry if the drinking sounds came through. That's a little bit louder than I would like. Okay, engine's on. Let's get out of here.
Take off complete.
So we can find ourselves another Dolomite deposit.
Landing gear raised.
I know that's enough for the mission that we're on, but I'd like to get maybe one more. Guess we should see how much Aphorite we have as well. Got plenty of... I think we have enough Aphorite for 2 missions. Honestly, I wish they would make the other small Argo crafts have uses in the game. Yeah, I think they will in time. But I agree. Oh, hell yeah. Another Dolomite patch right there. Let's go. So, like, I really like the little Argo pickup truck, the CSV, I think is what it's called. But, admittedly, there's not much function for it currently. So, yeah, I look forward to seeing more of that myself. Okay, let's see. Let's see if this might be an okay spot to land. I reserve judgment now because... Oh! Oof! Well...
Take off complete.
I keep forgetting how bad this thing is at slowing down dorsally. Like, the belly thrusters are so freaking weak on this ship, so we took a little damage there. It's also why I wish we had some decent cameras on our ships, because it'd be nice to be able to use that instead of third person. Alright, let's see. Doable. That'll work for me. Engines off always, just in case. You don't want your ship floating away from you. Alright, round 2. Let's go, Geo. The landing sensor. Yeah, gun, I'm not as familiar with that. I might have missed when that was being tested. Oh, you guys can see I got 3 FR-76s and 1 Rampart. Can you tell? Yeah, I definitely think they should be, Jennings. I think that's a big miss. If we ever get the chance to just put like an external camera on our MFDs, it'll be the biggest quality of life improvement that we've ever had, I think. People would probably lose their minds. If Tesla can do it, so can they. Exactly, dude. Not even just Tesla. So many cars have really good camera systems for their mirrors. But what I like is in my Model 3 and our Model Y, whenever you hit our turn signal, there's a camera that pops up that's relevant to that side that'll appear on our MFD. Yeah, I'm calling it an MFD because it's a display. It's an MFD. It has multifunction. It's awesome. I totally have said that for like 4 or 5 years. I've got 1 MFD in my Model 3. I wish I had more. But, yeah, it'd be cool. I wish we could program a little camera to pop up so we could actually see outside our ships. I parked further away from this than I thought. Alright, so let's actually do a count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it should be roughly 120 Dolomite, yeah? There's one, alright, no, 13. So there's one behind this rock here. Okay. Let's see, let's see. Are we still... It says we're high power, but we shouldn't be. Alright, yeah, we're good. Time to cook, bro. We're gonna get it up pretty high here and then drop down into the 20s. Perfect. CSV SM, Construction Support Vehicle, supply model, is intended to haul base building materials to site. Yeah, so that's probably when it'll become more useful, is when we have proper base building and crafting it. Good to see you, Lua. How you doing? Drop this down into the 20s. There we go, a little bit too high. Maybe it's possible to use the GEO for welding open doors of salvage. Saw a video of a combat mole which did some good damage to other ships. Yeah, that was SE Haulers, right? That was awesome. The first time I ever saw the damaging power of the mole was when my buddy Talius decided to fly his Pisces over and let me hit him with my Helix laser, and the Pisces died very fast. It was pretty epic to see. It was like less than 2 seconds and he went boom. That was a good time. Sounds like you need a Game Glass type app for Tesla so you can add MFDs. Yeah, that'd be awesome, dude. I would love that. I jokingly called my my Model 3 an Origin 3 for a while. And like the Cybertruck would be an RSI Cybertruck because it definitely has that Connie style design language, that RSI design language. Rivian would probably be Origin as well. A little too fancy. The Lucid would probably be Origin. Can't think of other companies that really fit, like in the Star Citizen sense. There we go. Yeah, I'd even take just a keybind, like how shows behind you for showing just under the ship for landings. Totally. Totally. I wish we had more options for exterior ship view. And a better calibration, too. Like, the look behind view is, like, the most extreme example of objects in mirror are closer than they appear. Kia EV be the Argos. I can see that. That's good. Alright, here we go. Yeah, this is a nice fast way to break through these rocks. So we should have around 130 units of Dullavine as long as they don't despawn. So we're doing some good testing here. I'm glad you guys mentioned that. So we can see if you actually lose quantity or if it's just a back-end lag like it seemed to be for that first one. Because this is fast. We are cruising through this, man. We haven't even had to reposition more than just where we're looking, which is nice. Because by the time the scan finishes to start building the pressure, you're good. You're not overcharging the rock, which is cool. Can you show how to mine Dullavine, Hadenite, and Aphorite with the hand tool? It's not very intuitive. Yeah, I could do that. Yo, Malice has a Kia EV. Hell yeah. Yeah, that'd be a pretty quick video. I could do probably a little video on what it's like to mine, hand mine versus like GEO or ROC. Well, the ROC's kind of rough right now. I haven't done a specific video on hand mining. We were doing some hand mining on a live stream. Unless I'm forgetting my own videos. Did I do a video on hand mining? I know I've got over 100 videos on the channel, but I don't think I did that one yet. Maybe, maybe not. Always down to do more. You can also move the laser in free look, so even less movement is required. Oh, I didn't even think about that. See, I've got my left hand kind of busy because I do my mining power control on my flight stick. So I'm nowhere near my keyboard right now. I'm right hand on mouse, left hand on the base of my flight stick. Because the middle tab of the VKB base is perfect for speed control and laser power. Because you can get really precise. I thought you did one after I couldn't figure it out. Prison. I think maybe I had the idea that we should and I forgot about it. That's very possible. That's one of the reasons I did the video on our Discord about what I wanted to do for the decoupled flight tutorial video. Which, that is pretty much done. I just got to edit it down and make sure it's not too long. We might be a little too far away from that one. Oh, no, it's getting up there. It's just a little slow. I'm just going to let this one cook. Probably still have the footage from when you were learning to hand mine in prison. Oh, man. No, I definitely don't, because I don't have the hard drive space for that. So I typically delete older stuff that I've had on for a while. I'm actually at a point where I need to clean out the videos that I finished for the YouTube channel that are still sitting in my upload folder. Okay, I think that's everything. Wow, that frickin' jet was reactive. Jumped way further than I thought. Okay, that is just a gorgeous shot. The haze of Walla. Alright, screenshot. Because watching you land upside down today, it was like, damn it, I want to do that. Hell yeah. Yeah, I actually go over that in the tutorial. Honestly, like with the decoupled flight, I think it's a total reshifting of your mindset with how you fly. I think that so many of us are so used to the way you drive cars or fly planes in video games, specifically, not necessarily real life, that we are always used to being right side up and always used to having some counteracting gravity or force, whether it's gravity or friction. Friction being the road against your tires or the air against your aircraft. Space travel, space flight is very different. Those of you who played a lot of Kerbal Space Program probably found it a lot more intuitive to go into decoupled flight mode. So I'm really excited to get that video out. That'll be Thursday's video coming out. Tomorrow's video is going to be a little example of what it will be like to live in the Ironclad. I'm really excited that that one's finally going to drop for everybody. And then the decoupled flight tutorial intro video is going to be on Thursday. And I plan to do a part 2 for that one, going into like planetary and moon sort of decoupled flight. But it should be good. I'm used to Kerbals. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can get the flight. The landing and stopping fully is what gets me. Yeah, and I think I got some good pointers in that that'll really help lock that in. And it's going to come down to practice. I mean, honestly, anybody who's trying to get into decoupled flight, getting comfortable with trusting where your velocity indicator is pointing, and then being really diligent about stopping or slowing down with your space brake. Not by pulling back on your throttle or using your throttle directions, but actually using space brake. That is going to be a huge way to stop yourself from blowing up, because space brake doesn't change the direction you're moving. So you can slow down without worrying that you're going to run into something, because you shouldn't be pointed at something, if that makes sense. I'm scared of decoupled, looking forward to your vid. Yeah, actually, I mentioned that too, that most folks are probably either don't know what decoupled is or are actually afraid of it or worried about it because of what they hear or what they've, heard from other people, or like the little, 10, 15 seconds that they tried it and went, what the hell is this? No! Okay, I think our radar turned off. No, it didn't. Hang on. Let me get a scan here. Should be right down here, right? Is this where we were? We were kind of far from the ship, I think. Hold up, where is the ship now? Yeah, we were back this way. Looking forward to both those videos. Hell yeah, coming out soon. Hang on. Maybe... might have landed a little too far away from this stuff. It's not popping up on my scans. Let's give it a second. Woo! Should be this way. Oh, and I think the Golem lights work again. Or finally work. Dude, I learned something yesterday. I learned about QT mode. If you boost in QT mode, your ship goes faster than SEM. Yeah, that's called nav mode. You can go up to, some ships, up to 1,400 meters per second. Where the heck is all this Dullavine? We might have just lost everything because I can't find where I just mined all this shit. Whoa! Come on, rate yourself. It's like Grand Theft Auto or something. Alright, where is our ship? We need our reference frame back. Okay, there's our ship. Oh yeah. Yeah, decouple mode makes you a lot, it allows you to be a lot more in tune with your ship's limits. You don't always have your ship countering you. It's really good in combat, because if you let go of your thrust and you're angling your ship when you're in combat in coupled mode, it brings your ship back to 0 velocity and makes you a sitting target. Not to mention, it really smooths out your flying patterns so that you don't feel quite as rocky, so like touch and go, because coupled mode is always trying to bring you back to 0. Coupled mode is always simulating a counteracting force. And for me, it just feels clunky, unrefined, and limiting. I hate it. Once you get used to decoupled flight, coupled flight just feels primitive. And it's not realistic to flying in space. At all. Alright, we have totally lost our source of Dullavine here. For some reason, my damn scanner's not picking it up. Sorry guys, just trying to take a second to find my damn deposit of mining goods, because they definitely shouldn't have despawned. I don't think we were this far away.
Fracturing mode on.
Let me reset my damn radar. Well, Captain Confusion, if I could find the damn gems, then yes, we would in fact be collecting those gems. That is what I'm trying to do. So the rock right now is kind of broken. So for actual mining, the GEO is really the only way to go. But you can collect with the rock, which is why we're out here trying to do that. Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Look at my radar. Hang on. I see them. I see them on the radar now. Unless that's kilometers away. Oh, I think that is. That's like kilometers away. Well, son of a bitch, man. All right, we're going to have to maybe scan with the ship. Or the GEO again. Yeah, Murph. Happy to help. One big difference I don't hear people mention is with W keyboard flight movement is all or none. So decoupled is harder. Where W sticks, you can control how much speed is applied. Yeah. So when you're using the keyboard, it's kind of like Kerbal that you really want to do light taps. And honestly, a sort of tap adjustment to how you're flying is good to do even on your sticks. You don't want to always be all throttle in, but to your point with flight sticks, you can temper that thrust a lot more sensibly, kind of like your foot on a throttle in a car or something. You know, you can give it a certain amount versus all or nothing. Which that's another reason that I couldn't stand coupled flight, because the all or nothing feeling was a real pain, even on keyboard. Peregrine max nav speed is 1447. That is wild. Damn, did all these freaking Dolivine rocks despawn on us, dude? Oh no, they're just that far away. There they are. Alright, hang on. We found them. They're just way down there. Holy jeez. How did I not see those? Alright. Now I know where that is. We're good. It's just even further away from the ship than I thought it was. Just as the sun's about to go down, it's about to get a lot darker. Alright, we got it. We got it. Just gonna put this back next to the ship. Hop in the rock and go collect those. It's part of the fun. Whee! Little moonwalking action. A little bit more gravity on Walla than there would be, like on our actual moon. The Razer TARDIS is helpful for decoupled flight, as I can have axes on optical keys. Yeah, that's a good point, too. Alright. Okay, here we go. Now I know what we're looking for. Honestly, it should have been... I should have realized it's that unknown marker that's 200 meters away. So that was me just not realizing that it was a little further away than I thought. So some of you guys might have noticed that before even I did. Apologies. Got there eventually. Whoa. Okay. Alright. So at least driving through here is not as bad as I thought it would be. There we go. There's all the Dolivine. Metric buttload of it. It's an official measurement, in case you didn't know. Alright, just going to do what I did before. Gonna put it in the middle, and then we're just going to gently drive around so we don't go flinging it anywhere. Again, we're hoping to collect about 130 of this. Yo, BSM Raider, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. I'm glad that as you point the laser, it highlights what you're looking at as far as seeing where the Dolivine is. Then, of course, you can ping scan, jeez, words, to find more of it. Okay, we'll drive a little closer to get that bit. Come on, pick it up. Thank you. Alright. So that appears to be most of it. We got that one little piece there. That, wow, we just grabbed. Wasn't really planning to. Alright, we'll do a little scan. Looks clear. Make sure none of it maybe landed behind us. Looks clear. Alright, let's go. Let's see if we actually grabbed everything. Sunset is gorgeous. Our preferred method with the GEO is to collect till full, then access the box from behind the fill armor. Like this field fit quite often for 1 or 2 GEOs. Yeah, there you go. Given just the sheer amount of material that we're pulling, I feel like for me it would just take longer to shuffle through the GEO boxes. So I just break everything with the GEO and then I go out in the ROC and bring it all in, which is worked pretty well. I haven't had to park quite this far away in the past, which is the only reason it took as long as it did. Well, we are all done here. We're going to load these up and move on. Probably just go turn in this mission and maybe one more, because that should have been about 130 or so Dollavine, as long as we didn't go losing a bunch. All right, you want to be real gentle with this part, because it is weird sometimes. There we go. In case anyone is wondering, I do use my flight sticks to move the vehicles, so I'm using my sticks for the ROC right now. Which feels really natural, actually. There we go. Pop out. Okay. Not bad, not bad. Let's go ahead and just get the GEO on board. Give that back end lag a second. Hell, even with it being a little bit less capacity, or quite a bit less capacity actually, the GEO is so fun to use that this would probably just be my main way of doing things. Giving me those Subnautica vibes. And it moves really well. Even if you do a little tap boost inside of a ship, it's pretty good. Oh no! We finished the tequila. Gotta transition over to the sweet tea. Alright. Oh, I left the storage open. Whoops. So 104, that is a bit under the amount, but let's see. Let's see if the trick works. We looked, we look again. Oh, still says 104. So we might have lost about 20 Dollavine on that, but that's still over 100, which is an entire mission's worth, so I think that that's still fine. I mean, I'm down for moving that fast and missing out on like 10 to 20 pieces. That's, to me, that's a worthy loss. That's worth the loss. That might not be the case for everybody. And it might not be the case that you always get 10 pieces, but that's just kind of like a rough average. I think that was a pretty good amount. Sweet. Keep looking right past the markers. You talking about before? I mean, yeah. That's also part of the battle when it comes to entertaining and chatting with people and having your brain sort of split between different things. It's just kind of part of the monster. But we got it at the end of the day. Close all this crap. I'll just hit close all once we get in the pilot seat. Don't forget, you can open and close doors while in the GEO if you are security-minded. Yes, you can interact with your ramps and all from your GEO, which is nice. Close everything up. Scanners on. Engines on.
Takeoff complete.
Alright, now we shift over into our QT mode to pull up our surroundings. Is that 61 there? Yep. We made it about 40 kilometers away. Full burn that direction. Bring in our gear. Looking good. What a beautiful sight, huh? That is next level. Yeah, Barrick, I could imagine it being pretty much expected around the entire community that we would all like to have more storage space in the GEO. Give us a bit more of a hunkin' backpack on it, that'd be awesome. Moving at a good clip, even in lower portions of the atmosphere here. The atmosphere is thinner than it would be like on Daymar, but it's still thicker than you might expect. It almost doesn't look like there's one at all. What's up, Hayatsune, Angry Frog? How you guys doing? Have they started production on the Arastra yet? I don't think so. I think that's still in white box, right? I think we got a while. So like right now, even though I'm not looking directly at where I'm going, I'm using space brake to slow down, which is working really well as I redirect that velocity indicator right down to the pad. Hit that space brake. Remember that your downward momentum is harder to cancel out in ships like the Hermes. There we go.
Landing
Right on.
complete.
So we should be able to repair here since we took a little bit of a smack earlier. Get some fuel back. Should be better positioned on the pad this time too. Granted, our cargo area is facing away from the elevator, but I don't really care too much.
Engines are off.
Alright. Let's get our stuff. Not quite ready for that one to come out yet. Yeah, I am excited, but also hoping that we get more diligent testing on it than we did with the Moth, because we definitely don't need any dumb mistakes making it to the community that could have been tested in Evo. Because I definitely would have caught and reported on all the problems we have with the Moth. I know a lot of people would have. Alright. This does seem to be a pretty convenient way to do this, to take this box out and use it to drop your stuff off. Just be patient with it. It can take a minute and a half, 2 minutes for it to register. We're going to separate what we need to drop before we send it down too. We've learned that lesson. Definitely need more Evo testing, agreed. You make points. You make so many think you can fly, but I know you still crash behind the scenes. Ha! We all crash. It happens. I crash far less than I used to versus when I was new to the game, that's for sure. Let's say, hang on. 80 Aphorite, 100 Dolivine, 25 at a night. 80, 100, 25. Aphorite. 80. Oh, we only have enough for one mission turn in of Aphorite. Damn. Alright. Oh, why did I do that? Oh, I need to transfer it over. Right, the Dolivine we're going to stack together. Because we only need 100 of that out at once, which we got a lot. Hell yeah. 25 Hadanite. 100 Dull. Okay. There's our next turn in. As much as I love the Moth, it was a pretty pitiful release. I agree, honestly. It would have taken some very simple Evo testing to catch the laser issues, the Copilot Authority issues, but I don't think that's just Moth specific. But the hopper being half of what it's supposed to be, or not half, but like both sides are registering the same 32 instead of 32 each side. So looking forward to those changes for sure. But we just have to wait till the next patch comes out, unfortunately. There we go. So this is a little smoother than last time. Don't want to totally jinx it. Okay, I have those separated. Now back out. Or I guess I could have just hit the X, right? That would have worked. Okay, this is much better. Yeah, I probably could have just hit the X. Send that up. Purpose of these missions is to get rep to do better missions. So CIG's purpose for these missions is to introduce players to the mining career path. That's the whole goal of the new salvage and mining missions, is to actually give a sort of pathway into this gameplay. So that's that. It's not to, you know, make buttloads of money or anything. Uh-oh. Oh, wait, Shubin Mining Facility, Sal 5. We're not at the right place. Read. Don't be like me. This is not Shubin Sal 5. Stupid. Ugh. Oh, God, it separated everything. Can I, hold on. I need Stackall. Oh my god, where is Stackall? Fuck. Oh, it sucks. Holy shit, there's no way to do this, is there? Wait. Oh, I hope that worked. Oh god, I hope that worked. Shit. Serious lesson learned. I did that once, never again. Hell yeah. Yeah, select all is fine. I haven't done it with a crate like that. This is the first time I've had to use this stupid technique, and no, it didn't work. Sorry, guys. Yelling at me in all caps. I know you mean well. Yeah, all right. Let's see. It didn't get them all together. So this is also where stack all would come in handy. Just gonna do this. What is this? The Dullavine. Ugh. Send it back down. See if I can get the rest. Back end lag. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. Man, if only I had caught that it doesn't belong at this station. I did this to myself. Lower the crate, open it, then move it all. Hope that makes sense. Yeah, I know. I know. All right. Did it work that time? Oh my god. It's like limited to what you can do. But we're going to do it this way. We're going to... Oh, no. All right, there we go. We should do it that way a few times and see if it works. This is such a stupid system. Already distracted or lost your focus. At least it wasn't flying. You act like you've seen me crash a million times. Alright. I'm gonna give this a second. Yeah. We'll wait for it. Oh, this is so dumb. Man. Alright, so notes for the video on this. Make sure you pay attention to where the hell you're sending this, because you wouldn't have this problem. If you don't pay attention and read the mission, make sure you're doing the right thing, you're going to waste a lot of time and get frustrated. These being missions that are geared towards getting new players into this gameplay, not the biz, bro. Not how I would do it. These freight managers aren't enough. You need, like... You know how we have an ASOP terminal right next to our freight elevator? Probably should just go ahead and put a storage kiosk there, too. It's a good idea. These things? Because I don't see anything. Oh, you mean these stop spinning. Alright. Well, okay. Guess we'll see how long we're here. I mean, that is a lot of little physical entities to move over. Well, here's the problem. I wasn't able to close the box. Can't click on it to close it. You have to leave. I need to start my mining stuff. Yeah. Oh, hey, there he goes. It was just delayed. It's all delayed. Yeah, okay. There's just an insane amount of lag on this part. I got you. Not a million, been around long enough, seen the insurance request receipts on the C. I can't remember the last time I actually broke the whole C. Yeah, early days, turn and burning, hitting like a station buoy or a station turret. Yeah, definitely. New citizen here. Is everything as complicated as it looks? Messed around a little yesterday, but a holy learning curve, bro. I thought DCS was complicated, but it makes the F-14 seem like a cozy coop. Yeah, so it kind of depends on what it is in Star Citizen you're doing and how much it's had its sort of loop refined. This is atrocious. Not most of what let me rephrase this. Most of what I do is not this bad. Like, this is just not good. This is bad. This is like, didn't do any quality testing before we put these missions out bad. You know, it's good to keep it real, keep it honest. Like, some of this I probably just wouldn't implement until you put like better terminals or better functioning back-end stuff to make this more doable, like just registering how much is in a box when you drop it to deduct that and then count it towards your mission. CIG is no stranger to withholding content to make sure that there's enough of it ready to send out. So honestly, unless they needed this testing, that's fair. For the sake of getting more data on more people doing this makes sense. This is not ready to be used as a way to get new players into this game loop by any means. This is taking too damn long, dude. This terminal hasn't been optimized at all like the inventory terminal has. Yeah, honestly, I'm hoping the whole inventory system, this is something I need to test when we go back to the Evo build, is if this has been at all worked on. I think it also might just be that there's too much in the SCU box that isn't like stacked up. So I'm going to try transferring a little bit like this and see if I can speed this process up at all. Wow, I didn't transfer anything over but like this little bit of hadanite. I'm about to just take the loss. Except we don't have enough aphorite to do a mission's worth, so I am going to send that down just to get like 20 aphorite over. I'm junior in salvage. Nice. Hell yeah, I haven't not done enough of that to rank up there. I'm probably just gonna honestly take the vulture out and just bust out the first level of missions because of the need for RMC, and right now the moth is not the way to get RMC. Not till they get that fixed. Alright. Alright, let's do this. I'm just gonna flick these over just for now. And we'll do a couple like this. So these won't let me stack, but they are showing up. All right, let's see how that worked. So I just got to move the show along. I'm not going to spend the rest of the stream dicking around with this box, man. Yo, Thorny Falcon Moth is really cool, but also just really bugged. It's not been as bad, I think, as some people think. Oh, there we go. Cool. We got some stuff over. Wicked. I just need to get this up to 80, and then we can move on. I don't care about the rest. We're just going to take a loss. Lesson learned. So the major bugs for the Moth to look out for really are just don't waste your time scraping. Just do construction salvage and component salvage, and you'll have a good time. Aside from that, I wouldn't let anybody into your co-pilot seat. I was one short. Son of a bitch. Alright, we gotta get one more. There we go. Send that down. We get one more, and then we're gonna move on. Oh, damn it. I did the thing. I stood in front of the elevator. Gotta stay out of that zone. This zone is now like a no-go. It's usually painted like caution yellow in your actual elevators where your ships are, but not here. Okay. So we only need like one more. I'll get a few more than one. We'll double click this and we'll send over a few things. It seems like dragging and dropping is working, but the select all or select the amount is not really working. Hadanite's a bit more valuable, so I kind of like the idea of keeping that. Doesn't take too long to just do this drag and drop sort of function. Make sure we get some of that aphorite though, because we need to make sure we're at least 80. You can see them kind of building up here too. Like there's some weird loading happening. Alright, that's all I'm going to do. We're going to send this up and just get out of here. So yeah, you avoid this chaos by just paying attention to where you got to send your stuff. Facility Sal 5. I'll wait for the bugs before I get them off. Yeah, I mean, they should, you know, in quotations, be fixed by 4.7. But we'll see. Man. Bear with me here. I'm just trying to organize this a little bit. Yeah, dragging and dropping was faster. The weird lag issue with it not registering the transfer all seems to be more than just a time scenario. Nope, that's Dolivine. Look at the silhouettes. They look different. Dolivine. Adonite. Nope, that's Baradom. Aphorites. And Dolivine. Alright, let's go. I will survive with the rocks we're losing. It's all good. Nah, move all's not working, Ubi. I tried move all several times. Or are you talking about move all versus select all? It's fine. It's whatever, man. I've already done the thing. We're done. Moving forward. Yeah, seriously, a new inventory rework's gonna be amazing. Alright. I did it in the reclaimer and turned it in with the moth. Nice, there you go. Alright. Ubi. Yeah, fair enough. Like Ubisoft? Wait, is it... so is the play on your name like you be a quitter? Or is it you be Qatar? I like to make sure I've got people's names down. I've been curious about yours for a little while. New inventory should be hopefully coming in 4.7 with crafting. I don't have official information on that. That's just they want the new inventory system to come out with the start of crafting, and that is still slated for 4.7. If that actually happens is another question, but hopefully. Sad the Hermes can't fit the MDC or MDT. Yeah. Can't fit them all. It almost fits the ROC DS, but not quite. The tires are just a little too wide. Alright, let's see here. Deliver. It's on a different moon, I think. Oh, we're on Walla. I thought we were on Lyria. Nope, we're on Walla. Okay. Heading in. I'm in game, by the way, is a personification of ubiquitous as a noun. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. I like that. Gotcha. Whoop. Oh, OM beacon first. That makes sense. Ubiquiter. I got you. I got you. Higher mission's got to go to the refinery. Yeah. Want the Hermes so badly. Yeah, she's a great ship, man. I had to keep it. I really did. I'll be doing the same to the Moth. That will... I've already melted a couple of things. Alright, you guys might hate me for this, but I melted my Asgard. I did. I melted the Asgard. I'm probably going to melt a few more paints that I don't need for the Asgard and some stuff to get my Moth officially. The Hermes is really my daily driver in that sense, kind of split with the Moth, because whatever I'm not doing in the Hermes, I can do in the Moth, and you can do a lot of things in both ships. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Alright, wow, yeah, Lyria is not rendered in fully. There it is, okay. I was going to say, that's looking a little rough there. I think Lyria's got a bit thicker of an atmosphere. You can actually kind of see it, sort of, the haze on the outside of the moon. I like the cargo grid. What's your opinion on the attractor for the Hermes? It needs some work. It needs to be a bit stronger, which somebody did mention that there are some stronger tractor beams you can grab, like a specific one that might rotate better. So I might do a video on comparing the tractor beams you can buy and put on your ships to see if maybe one makes that a bit more useful. But with its lack of rotational authority and its lack of length coming out of the rear of the ship, to me, I'm better just using my tractor rifle. But it's not totally useless. And I've seen, like, for pretty much 8 SCU boxes and under, most people in the comments of the review video were saying that it's actually faster for them than using their tractor rifle. So I think that's a valid thing to acknowledge for sure. My personal take is that I get more done with my rifle than I do with any of the large ship tractor beams. The only ship's tractor beams that really I give the time of day to are going to be the Taurus, the Nomad, the Golem, probably Utility, those kinds of ships. All right, we got to slow down a lot faster here, so we're going to use that retro vector to get more authority to our engines. Perfect. Hermes does not like to slow down. Didn't know you could switch tractor beams. Yeah, I knew you could, but I didn't think it was actually, like, worth doing. I didn't know they were different enough to matter. So I'm going to explore that a little bit better. Agreed, 8 and under is super fast. Yeah, that's pretty much been the consensus, and it seems like a lot of people agree that we wish that, like the Golem Ox, that the tractor beam could extend a little bit on a rail outside of the ship. Oh my god. We have slam here? Okay, we might be picking that up. I don't think I can just leave valuables like that lying around. Alright, hang on. Let's rotate real quick.
Landing complete. Engines are off.
Tractor beams have better grip and weight capacity. Yeah, I don't think that any of them changed their rotational authority, but I'm curious enough to do the experiment. If it's size 3 vice lock, will fit the best. Isn't the size 3 vice lock the tractor beam on the SRV? That would be crazy. The Asgard had a staircase like the Paladin. Maybe I'd keep it. I don't normally mind ladders. I love the mole, but I never liked the ladder in the Asgard. Yeah, and back in the day, the ladder in the Asgard would kill you. It doesn't seem to be the problem now, but that was a big concern for a while. All right. First things first, we'll handle our mission, and then we'll go check out the goods that are laying around, the slam and all. That might be some good random value left behind by another player that maybe couldn't turn stuff in for some reason. All right, we'll send this up. We'll make sure we have the right splits. So 25 had a night. $80 Aphorite. And 100 Dullavine. Yeah, we missed out on a lot of Dullavine because of the elevator mix-up that I did. Totally my fault. Oh, I love the Corsair. Corsair is one of my favorites. For a high damage output daily, it's amazing. The only thing that sets it down for me is the lack of that tractor beam for cargo. But if you're a bit more of a combat-oriented kind of daily driver, it's fantastic. It has insane damage output. It's got a decent cargo bay. It's all physicalized engineering, which is nice. That's what kind of sets it apart for me from the Connie, because the Connies have not gotten that pass yet. I love it, though. I'm also a huge Drake fanboy. So that's to be expected. Actually, we'll just go ahead and send these over. SRV has a safe tow. Corsair is set up great for engineering also. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so it's another size 3 tractor. The Vice Lock. All right, I'm going to have to figure out where that is and give it a shot. Okay, lag. All right, so we'll just wait. Be patient. Here it comes. Towing beams and tractor beams are in different categories. Yeah, that makes sense. That's what I would expect. Oh, no! You son of a bitch. They were stacked on top of the fucking store all. Chris Roberts. Oh, my God. These probably aren't going to register. Oh! Shit! Okay, that's not so bad. Hang on. Oh, fuck. Alright, well, we lost a little Dullavine, but I think we have enough to do the last 6 that we need. That's fine. Alright, so that could have been worse. Man, why would they put it on top of the fucking 8? That's so stupid. Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Hey. Hey. Hey, you come here. Freaking weird-ass mechanics. That made my stomach hurt to watch, I could imagine. Ugh, crisis sort of averted, yeah. I think these are the last bits that we need to send down. not taking off my backpack. Some weird crap happened when I did that in the PTU. Can I grid this stuff to the deck with my tractor beam if I just drop it? We're gonna do a little test. Keep in mind there is a delay in the chat, so if you're answering the question as I'm doing this, it's all good. Yes, we can grid it. Awesome. Cool. Well, then, fine. We will start dropping this shit. Tractor it to the deck. Learning how this stupid stuff works, man. I experienced the chaos, so you're a little bit more prepared than me. There we go. Never mind, Hermes has a size 2 tractor mount. Yes. Oh, god damn it. I keep doing that, getting in front of the tractor, or the elevator. Sorry about that. Okay, let's try that again. Stay this way. Stay away from it. Yeah? Are we done now? There it is. The mining part of these contracts is enjoyable. It's fine. It's the frickin' turn-in.
You... Hell yeah. That's all I got. You are crushing it. I've sent your pay. Enjoy it.
Okay, some of you guys got the same vibe I did. It sounded like he was mad. Like he was about to yell at me. I'm like, what are you going to say, motherfucker? I turned it in. Like, oh, you give me a compliment? All right. It's freaking nuts. I wonder how many OLISAR are watching this. Hey, who knows? Shout out to all of my org mates, the OLISAR crew. What's up, guys? We're going to go get ourselves some slam that was lying around. Hang on. I got to find it. Hopefully our ship doesn't go flying away because I totally left the ass open. Is this it over here? Is that it? Hang on. I think I see it. Come on. There it is. Oh, it's contracted. Man, damn it. Of course it is. I should have known it'd be contracted. That's not going to be worth shit. Here, you can have it. Alright, let's get out of here. Ball playing Mr. Pants. Rogering up for the OLISAR group. Let's go. He's about to drop kick you. That's what it sounded like, man. That voice acting was like watching the whole experience and how much trouble I had turning it in. I was waiting for him to call me out. That would have been hilarious, though. Oh, dude. Crazy, crazy. But we got it. We got it. We lost a bunch of crap. And apparently we have this weird snow effect inside the ship, which should go away. There it is. It drops off as you walk in. All right. What's our rep at? That's grindy. Oh, wow. No, wait. That's Adagio. What am I got excited. No, that's more fitting. Man. So it'll take a few of those to get that rep where you want it to go. Doing the ship side, of course, you got to refine the stuff, so that takes a little while. Man. Let's see. What option? So it's just the same mission to different areas. So, yeah, I mean, you guys are just going to want to stockpile on this and then just do turn-ins at each of these places, and then it shouldn't be so bad. That's a grind. Yeah, and these, again, you have to refine them. I wonder how long it would take to refine this stuff with the fastest using the smallest amounts. Like, we hop out in a golem and just go for this crap and see how quick it is. You guys down to try that? Go grab our Teach's golem and put it to work. With the golem and the right method, you can get refined size down, say 2 to 12 minutes. Okay. Let's mess with it. Let's see. Need any players? No, not on this stream. I appreciate it. I saved those. I'm going to start saving those for the Fridays. We'll get into more group play. Kind of preemptively preventing too much chaos by bringing too many people into these. Not that it's any of you, but just trying to mitigate potential PvP snipe shenanigans, just because it's been a bit more prevalent lately. Alright, let's head out to Baijini and grab ourselves the golem and see if we can get into some stuff with that. Sure Grip HSV S2 has the greatest force in that size category. Actually, I think that's the one that the person commented. The HVS2 sounds familiar. Just got the golem, like to learn how it works. Well, hell yeah. Sounds like a plan. Alright. And since we're just going for low quantities of regular stuff, we're not going to stush it into our M2 or our C2. We're just going to take the golem out. There we go. And I bet we can actually find an entrance to the Aaron Halo from this side pretty easily. I've got that mapped out decently enough. Her L2, I think, to like Arc L4 or something like that. Alright. I love when the nav turns off as we're coming into the planet. Couldn't just get me all the way to Baijini, could you? Nope. There it is. In the clutter of other nav points. Available in refineries everywhere. Nice, okay. So actually, that in mind, refineries everywhere. Okay, hang on. We're gonna go to her L2 then. Her L2 should be a refinery. Let's check. Docking, yep. All the L2s and L1s, I think. So, yeah. That's right. We'll enter the Aaron Halo from over there. Okay, first we gotta get out of this weird obstructed path. We'll grab that tractor beam while we're thinking about it. And claiming the golem is only an expedited 45 seconds, so that gives us time to head down to the refinery, grab the new tractor beam, install it. And maybe purchase a, like 32 of something and see how it rotates. Doing science on top of the stream? Let's go. Not sure what minor metals you get in the Halo. Also, the metals you need will vary depending. You get everything in the Halo, brother. There isn't anything that you can't get in the Halo, from what I understand, just from my experience in it. I think the only thing you can't get, I'm not sure where you would get it, is diamond. I think that might be a different type of mineable, maybe. Sweet, thanks, Doc. Heading that way. XL1 burning. We'll throw that tractor beam on and see if it messes around, or if it's worth doing. Ice. Well, ice is very specific, I think, to this event. I'm not really too worried about mining ice. That's a good point, though. That's weird, though. There should, by all means, be ice in the Halo. Are the exterior station cargo elevators only at the main stations above cities? Yes. Cities and gateways. So, Baijini, Seraphim, Port Tressler, and Everest Harbor, as well as Nix and Pyro Gateway, or any of the gateway stations. Those will all have the external elevators. I hope that we eventually get those elevators at the Lagrange points, which, for anybody who doesn't know, the Lagrange locations are your L1s through L5s. The Lagrange points are zones of gravitational equilibrium in orbit around a given star. So basically, they're points where things can sit that they will stay in that position relative to the planet and everything as they rotate. Like L5s will typically be on the opposite side of the given point. Actually, her L5. That should be her L5. That's her L3, though. Where's her L5 sitting? L5's down there. Oh, that's weird. But they're always going to be kind of symmetrical in the Lagrangian locations from the star to the planet. It's pretty cool. But yeah, a little space lesson you guys didn't ask for. Let's get over to this refinery. On my way to pick up ice right now. A friend of mine is giving me 34 8SU containers. Hell yeah. Still working on the collections portion of the event. Or helping a buddy out. Would not surprise me if Pyro ship mining missions include ice. Possibly. All Lagrange points have stations, though. There's no Corel 2. Yeah, actually, good point. That is, I think, the only Lagrange point that doesn't technically have a station. It's just empty space, at least in Stanton. Actually, there might be two. But you are right. The L2 point does not have an R&R or a station to touch down at. All right. Let's get a hangar and get in here. We will call for the golem, and then we will...
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Head down to the refinery and grab our tractor beam. Well. So I'm holding space brake now. This is an idea for decoupled flight, matching my retrograde vector. That way my main engines are giving maximum authority to thrust to slow us down fastest. And then I will redirect where I want to go. making sure that I'm not pointing at any physical objects, and now that I'm done, it doesn't matter where I'm looking because I know where my velocity indicator is. Go ahead and drop my landing gear, go ahead and hit space brake to start slowing down using my same thrust authority. And since I'm using space brake, I'm not changing the direction I'm moving, so I'm not worried about hitting anything behind me. If you are, you can just use your rear view to take a peek. But here we go. There's our landing bay right here. Just kind of talking through my decoupled methods to make it a bit more understandable, I guess, with how I fly, because to some folks, it probably looks like I'm kind of crazy how I'm moving the ship. I know Whiskey Pete says it drives him nuts how I enter hangars and shit. We have a rear view. Yes, yes, you do. You have a button you can use to look rear view. It's usable, but it's very exaggerated. It's like the most extreme version of objects in mirror are closer than they appear. So like getting real fine detail backing into stuff, you're not as close as your rear view camera makes it look like you are. So keep that in mind. To find it, guys, just go into your options, not your Mobi glass. Key bindings, down here to advanced. Very top one, vehicles, seats, and operator modes. Third option down, look behind. Bind it to your keyboard and mouse, buttons, whatever you want, or bind it to your flight sticks like I do. Really great way just to take a peek and be like, oh shit, I might hit that. So yeah, very top one, vehicle, seats, and operator mode, third option. You're welcome. All right, let's get in here. Imagine if the planets actually had moving orbits. Yeah, so I'm glad that they at least rotate, but if you think this game is broken now, it would be unplayable if they actually had working orbital mechanics for all of the celestial bodies. All you have to think about, again, is Kerbal Space Program and how hard that game ran because it is remembering the orbital physics of every entity in the game. Yeah, this game wouldn't be functional to any degree if they actually tried to implement that. It would be really cool if they did eventually, if they had enough compute and processing power to make that happen, but that is hard. That is such a hard thing to do. You got to think about, too, like Kerbal Space Program, it's just you, unless you have like the multiplayer mod, then you might have like 1 or 2 people with you. Imagine a shard of 500 people, plus all the planets, all the mining stations, all the Lagrange points, all of the asteroids, all of the moons, all of the planets, all having orbital physics?
Welcome
no.
To the ASOC Vehicle Retrieval System.
That's like 100 years of AI advancement in our gaming to make that a possibility. That's like simulating an actual universe. That'd be so freaking cool. But no, that's definitely going to be a wishful thinking for a very long time. Yeah, Elite has that, but Elite doesn't have to have the same amount of actual working physicalized entities, and it's probably easy to sort of shut things down in the back end. I did hear that Elite has that, but I'm skeptical to what that engine's actually processing all the time versus what it's able to sort of turn off or maybe mitigate. Or if they're kind of like simulating it, kind of like hiding loading screens and stuff. As far as I know, Kerbal Space Program is the only one that was actively and consistently, seamlessly operating orbital physics. But I don't know. I'm not the end-all be-all on knowledge on Elite Dangerous 2. I could be totally wrong. If you guys got links that maybe explain some of that, please let me know. Drop it in the comments or send me something in the Discord. I would love to check that out. Because I would love to see what kind of physics engine they're running to do that sort of thing, because that's insane. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I want it. I absolutely want it. But yeah, considering the current state of Star Citizen, I would not want that burden also on the game. I'm glad we have rotation. I'm happy with rotation being a thing, because at least there's that. You have night and day cycles, you know, stations and all. There's movement, just not orbital movement. But that would be nuts, man, because sometimes it would take like no time at all to get from like ARC Corp to Microtech, because their orbital periods would be like right next to each other. You would actually have transition windows for going planet to planet and shit. God, that'd be so cool. Sorry, you're making me geek out. I don't think, not all of you understand how much of a physics geek I am, so be warned. If we start going on those rants, man, I'm not gonna shut up.
Your insurance
Not without you guys saying, okay, move on. All right. So just make sure that we don't need to expedite, because it's not going to take us long to get the refinery anyway, but we got that. So let's, whoa, where am I going? Nerd! Yeah, you know it. 100%. 100%. All right. Refinery, here we go. Transition windows would be awesome. Imagine seeing it out on the travel board. Yeah, like when somebody asks, hey, how long does it take to get from Crusader to Microtech? You'd be like, what time of the year is it? Are we at the opposing transition or are we in our transition window? Because that time could vary greatly. So have you tried Space Engineers? Yes. I spent an unhealthy amount of time designing my first ship in that game. I called it the Honey Badger, and guess what? It was a crazy mining vessel that operated like a forward munching mouth with like 6 mining heads and shit. Oh man, that was fun. Designing that from the ground up was really cool. And there could be an event when all the planets line up. At some point, yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. I mean, the amount of time it would probably take in game for all the celestial bodies to kind of line up like that would be nuts. I wonder how long that would take. It depends on what the orbital periods are, because like the planets in Stanton would would orbit or complete an orbit a lot faster than the planets in Pyro, because the planets in Stanton are actually a lot closer to their star. All right, let's see. Tractor beams. See, you get me into it again, guys. All right, focus. What are we doing? We're looking for the HS or the HV2S2. What would it be under? Let me just type in HS. Nope, HV. There we go. There it is. We got it. HVS2 tractor beam. Let's see. We got max angle 60 degrees. That is all we got. Okay, so that doesn't tell us shit. I would love to min-max my transits like Kerbals. Yeah, so like in the decouple video coming out Thursday, I mentioned things like delta V, or your change in velocity, your vectors, how you cancel out, how you fly in space. So there's going to be some Kerbal language in that. Not too much, because I didn't want it to be like, what the hell is this guy talking about? I wanted to make it make sense, but yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be awesome. I'm sure they could math it out to make it happen on a schedule, like once or twice a year, like every 183 to 60 days. Yeah, they could do, to your point, like probably a simplified orbital simulation. Like it doesn't have to be like completely physicalized like Kerbal Space Program, but like that, like a program time where the planets are at different locations. I wonder how they would map that across shards and all. Come on, elevator. There we go. I wonder if anybody at CIG is thinking about that. That'd be pretty cool. Knowing SC, we'd never be able to hit our destination in QT, because by the time we arrived, the planet would have moved enough that we missed it. That shouldn't be the case, Solace, because we're moving at near light speed, and in some cases faster than light, with our size 2 and size 3 quantum drives. So still, in the minutes it takes to get to a planet, it shouldn't have moved enough in its orbit that we would miss it, but we might be off by quite a few kilometers. Just thinking about how planets move. I mean, we could be off by 10,000 kilometers and maybe have to do another tiny micro jump or something depending on rotational periods, orbital velocities. Sorry. Okay, back to the ship. Hang on. Hangar. I guess it really just depends on just how nerdy the devs are willing to get, right? That's okay, though. Like, for a game to be enjoyable and playable, I am fine with not everything being totally physicalized. It'd be cool, but again, I'm happy with rotation. Alright, so let's throw that tractor beam on. Oh, damn, I meant to see if I could buy... See, I got all distracted with the physics and space talk that I forgot to go get a box to actually mess with. Let's also take a peek at our golem here. Let's see, what is our... Double Rigers, that's perfect. Stealth kitted. Okay, where's the Hermes? Let's change the tractor beam. It should be under miscellaneous. Yep, there it is. So from the Shore Grip S2 to the HV S2. Okay, here we go. We got some stats here, guys. Okay, so max range 130, max range 150. Full strength distance 75, full strength distance 55. So based on this, the HV S2 is worse in both of those categories, with the same angle. So based on the metrics we're seeing, the Shore Grip S2 is better, but that could be outdated or incorrect. Let's go ahead and equip this. Max Force isn't listed. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's what we're thinking about. All right, let me head back up to the terminal real quick at admin and see if I can get like a 32 of a few different substances to try out. We're going to science this before we head out in the Golem. We got some time, a little over an hour left in the stream, so let's have some fun. I'm sure there's a formula they could have that would have the desired outcome and variables that would be rotational speed for each major planet. Now for the moons, those could probably be on their own rotation stuff. Yeah, there's probably some degrees of things they would want to simplify for the sake of just the load on the game itself. If they were going to try to simulate any of that. 1500 max force. All right. I'm so curious about this. All right, we're going to head to the Galleria because there should be a terminal there that hopefully we can buy some stuff. I don't know if we'll be able to get the heaviest thing, which in this game is iron. I know gold is denser, but it's simulated. Is there an admin terminal here, actually? I don't really spend a whole lot of time at L2, so... Yep, there we go. There they are. Perfect. Let's see what we can buy. Waste, scrap, and hephaestonite. All right. Well, at least we can get some stuff. We're going to send it to the station. Scrap should be a decent weight. We'll get one of each in a 32 container to test. Actually, we'll get one of each in a 32, a 24, and a 16. We're going to do a little science in here. We're going to give it some thoroughness. So 32, 24, 16 of waste, scrap, and hephaestonite, because they do have different mass calculations. They're not all the same. Actually, we can only get one SU, or 116 of scrap. Doesn't look like we can do 24s of this one. Or 32s. Oh, man, we can't do 32s of either of these. Well, shit. All right, I'll just do the 16 of these then. That's fine. It's something. Bummer. I can't wait for actual weight to make a difference, having to load balance your ship and think about the type of atmospheres you're heading into. Yeah, to that degree, it's probably not as affected. But masses do matter. They do have calculated masses for different items that affect the ships. So there is some simulated mass differential. But a lot of it's compensated by the ship thrusters. 36 bucks, pressurized eyes. Hell yeah. I would hope that the navigation computer would calculate the position of the body on arrival instead of missing it by a few thousand kilometers. Yeah, agreed. I think in the year 2956, orbital avionics and calculations should be pretty freaking spot on and be able to compensate for planetary orbits. I think you're totally right there. Mass or weight does affect the tractor beams. Iron is much harder to deal with. Yes. Yeah, iron is currently listed as the most massive object that you can move in the game right now. So if you really want to weight or stress test your ships, you got to use iron.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, same, Alice. Yeah, you guys are both right on that. But also, you would think in the year 2956, we would have external cameras on our ships. So, you know, we get what we can, right?
Your vehicle has been delivered to the following location.
All right, let's have some fun here, man. Let's see what we can rotate, if we can rotate. We got the strongest max force tractor beam we can get, so let's go. Yeah, automatic fire extinguishers would make sense as well. That tractor beam looks pretty cool on the grid. Yeah, so that's what we're going to kind of see. We're going to grab these different boxes, and if there is any rotational authority differences, we should be able to tell. And I'll show you guys what I mean by my critique, because you can rotate these easily with your tractor rifle. The iron is a bit slower to rotate and move, even with your tractor rifle. That's something to think about as well. But yeah, so in moving these boxes with your tractor rifle, you've got a lot of really good rotational authority on many axes when you're trying to move these around. Like you can see, this is a 24 SEU box, and we're having no problem rotating this sucker. So this should be the 32, which it's gonna, you can tell there's a bit more inertial consideration as you're moving it around. It feels heavier and more sluggish, but I can put it like 20 meters away and rotate the thing. Look at that. So this is one of the reasons that I think that the Caterpillar, the Hull C, the Hermes, like ships' tractor beams are, for the most part, useless at rotating or maneuvering these boxes, even the freaking hull C. The reason that the tractor beams are a bit more useful on, you know, your nomads and your golems and such is because they're also not dealing with boxes that are quite that massive. So we're going to move the Hermes in front of it to make it a bit easier to manage, and then we're going to test it out. I'm not expecting it to really be any different, but we'll see. Devious part of that might be that with in-game lore, we also like banned the research of artificial intelligence too. So I don't know, maybe humans just got dumber because they didn't have AI to solve their problems. You would think that counter to that, because we didn't have AI to solve our problems, that we would have used our brains more and figured things out more. So in 2956, we would have a lot of tech that makes sense now. But, you know, I guess at least we have cool spaceships. All right. Let's go ahead and get ourselves positioned here. We should be able to just rotate. There we go. Should be about there. Check. See, this is one example I'll show you guys is the rear view mirror right now is going to make it look like you're at the wall. Like we're like damn near inside the thing looking at it. But when you look at it externally, we still got quite a bit of distance before we're actually there. So let me get my speed limiter off, back it up a bit. Actually, I don't want to be too far back because we want to be able to grab the box and rotate it. So that's probably good about there. Hey, we do have the weathering on the ship from flying around in an atmosphere. Hell yeah. That's cool. So even the trip line paint is getting all beat up. You can also see it. Oh, well, once I went out of third person, the front of the engine nacelle getting worn, the metal underneath. That is cool. All right, engines are off. Let's do this. Yo, Hawks, what's up, buddy? How you doing? I have a feeling the Hermes tractor is also bugged. Can't turn boxes for shit. That's not the Hermes tractor though, buddy. That's ship's tractor beams. That's why I keep mentioning the Caterpillar and the Hull C when I talk about it, because I don't want to just single out the Hermes, because I know it's not a Hermes specific issue. It's just ship's tractor beams. Yeah, you can't do anything better with the others. But all right, let's do this test and find out. Turns out Idiocracy was a documentary. Yeah, honestly, it's kind of painful how true that statement is. It aged very well, unfortunately. All right, let's do this. Let's pop in. Why is my remote turret button not working? Oh, because I'm not in SEM mode. That's another thing that I think is kind of dumb. Tractor beams should be usable in nav mode. And sometimes it seems like they are. But, you know, you can't use this unless you put the damn thing in SEM first. Need to have the camera like the Toyota Yaris aiming down so I can see. Yeah, the bird's eye view, right? To see the whole thing. That'd be sick. All right.
Shields are off.
There we go. It says shields are off as my shields power up. You can get 3 of the ship mining contracts at the same time, and they can go to the same spot if you want to save some time traveling. Hell yeah, Hazard, hell yeah. Guess you just need to do like 3 deposits per each one to have enough to turn those in. Which, that part doesn't take long. The mining's enjoyable. Taking the GEO out, busting the rocks, grabbing the rock to suck them all in, and then, like, that side of it's a blast. It's just the handling of the boxes that's a pain. Okay. So, max force is actually showing here as 1 meganewton. Is that what MN is? Alright. What the hell? Did it turn off? Okay. So, it was on in nav mode, but you can't use it. And then it turned itself off in SCM mode. God damn it. Okay. We have a beam, guys. Alright. Alright, so let's bring this forward. This is the 24. Okay, we're holding it in place. Now let's try rotating. I am spinning my scroll wheel to rotate this right now. It even says rotating on it. Well, that sends it away. Nope, no, no. Come back, come back. Now it's just rotating because I bumped it into something. Yeah, that is totally... Oh, wait a minute. We had a little rotational authority. Hold on. Let's see if we can arrest it first. Okay, well, that's not working. What about moving my actual mouse? Look at that. See, this is my whole complaint. Mini ninjas, I like that. Okay, so that's freaking useless. All right, we're going to throw that off to the side. So if that didn't rotate, there's no way this one's going to rotate. What we'll do is we'll throw the original tractor beam on to see if there's any difference. But I doubt it, honestly. Okay, holding R to rotate. You can see it trying. It's like barely moving it. It's like wiggling it. All right, scroll wheel. "10 years later, you might get a little rotation out of this." Yeah, meganewtons is what I was figuring. Yeah, that's atrocious. Okay, let's throw that back in here. Forward and backward movement's not bad. All right, grab this. See, this part of tractor beam function isn't horrible. You know, it's pretty all right. That's why using the Hermes for smaller boxes is not a bad deal. Because, like, right here even, I should be able to just pull this sucker in, even at the angle it's at. Yeah, so that's pretty good. You know, that's functional. It's not a problem. All right, let's see if we can just push it right out. Oh, we got inside the box. That's not good. What happens if we pass it? Okay, we kind of physically interact with it. Force equals mega. Nope. Need it further away. Yeah, that's what I figured. It'd be nice if the tractor beam had enough authority to push it out with that mass. But I mean, actually, to that point, I can understand why that would be a little bit more limited. Because it's moving quickly, so that's kind of a user error. If you got something really heavy, you don't want to be flinging yourself into it. So even the 16, man, I'm like sweeping my mouse over and over like this, and it's not doing anything. And then hitting the scroll wheel, oh, that kicked in a little bit. Oh, and then it stopped. Come on, man. Ugh, all right. It can move, it's an inertial thing. Well, and it shouldn't be, because, again, tractor rifle. Enough said. You know what I mean? There should be plenty of rotational authority in the ship's tractor beam. All right, let's hop off of this. Let's swap back to the other tractor beam and see if it's any different, because we want to have something to actually measure against. Otherwise, what's the point of the test, right? Whee! Science! Hopefully we're far enough to the right that the ship doesn't get caught as it goes down. It should be. I'm just going to trust it. Screw it. Let's go. Yeah, Hawksley, I heard a rumor that the HVS2 was strong enough, or at least might be strong enough. Why did I do that? Son of a bitch. I meant to do the ASOP terminal. To actually rotate the boxes, so naturally, got to do the test. All right, let's bring those back up. We're going to swap the tractor and do it again. Box doesn't accelerate as fast as the tractor beam is going. Oh, Edric, if you're just talking about the forward and backward motion, I have no arguments against that. I think that's totally fine. I'm purely talking about rotational authority. That's my gripe. Yeah, moving it forward and backward and it taking a second to generate that inertia, that's sensible. That is completely understandable. That's where I say skill issue. Okay, cool. Yeah. We're on the same page there then. We're all good. That's the wonderful thing about little bits of delay when you're streaming. Might get little wires crossed on some points. But yeah, I'm completely in agreement there. All right, we're back to the Sure Grip. We're going to pull it up and see if it's any better or worse. I would expect that it's not going to be a noticeable difference. That's my hypothesis at least, so let's test it. Were you able to bind tractor beam rotation to your sticks? I wasn't, unfortunately. There doesn't seem to be an actual way to dedicate that bind. I would love to be able to do all of it on my sticks, but I use my mouse for rotation and then my sticks for pulling in and pushing out, which is another thing that's kind of annoying is the bifurcation there of switching between them. I wish there was a way to bind that. The mass should be irrelevant with the tractor beam. Yeah, exactly. If it mattered at all, you'd never be able to lift it in the first place because the angular force would apply to the body. Yeah, and it would just crush you. That's a really good point. If that actual mass mattered under a tractor beam, then your human body would be the limitation, right? That's how I'm picking that up. That 100%. Yeah, tractor beam should nullify that. But I can understand certain tractor beams having different performance metrics for maybe how fast they move. But yeah, I don't know. Getting into the weeds a little bit on tractor specifics. I don't think they've actually got that implemented to that degree yet anyway. Hang on. What the heck?
Welcome to Robert Space Industries.
Come on, engines, power up. There we go. All right, we'll do the same thing here.
Landing complete. Engines are off.
All right, and we're still in SCM mode, so we'll have no problem using this. Let's see. Yo, thank you for the follow, Franz. Appreciate that. Let me put these rails down. That is annoying to walk into. All right, Tractor Beam. Let's see if you're any better than the HS. Again, I don't think so. I think it'll be the same performance. I could be wrong. Should be viewed as a pocket of anti-gravity protected from the end of the emitter. Yeah, pure speculative fiction. Totally, totally. I think that makes sense, though. Whoop. Okay, a little visual glitch. It was already at the end. It just displayed the camera like it was over here. All right. So now I'm not registering like any stats on the tractor beam at all, which is funny. Okay, so we did the rotational test with the other one using the Hephaestonite, so I want to keep that at least consistent. We want to have as minimal difference between our variables of testing for accuracy. Okay, can we rotate? That doesn't feel meaningfully different at all. I think we had a fluke of rotation on that last box where we kind of used forward inertia to start the rotation. Maybe that's what happened. Yeah, if it's moving, there's a little inertial authority that gets passed in, but not a whole lot. Hang on, is that the trick? Is it to push and pull as you rotate? Okay, we seem to have inertial authority now. Hang on. How much can I exaggerate this? Am I figuring out tractor physics in real time here? When it comes to the bigger stuff, you have to move it, but then like your authority to stop the rotation though is pathetic. That might be how it's functioning, but that doesn't make it a usable function. Yeah, that's... So I can get the rocks to do, or the box to do spinny stuff, but not in a way that's useful. Maybe in a way that makes it easier to grid. Yeah, no, that's not doing what I need it to do. But I think I figured out how to at least get it to rotate. Woof, woof, Rex. Gotcha. Okay, where is the bigger? That's the 24. Give me the 32. Let's do this test real quick. And then we'll jump into the golem. Hang on, I don't want it spinning. I want to cancel the inertia. All right. From a dead stop. Rotation. What the fuck? We got a little rotational authority now. I kind of feel like I'm in the three-body problem issue where the scientific results are all over the place and not making any sense. So I've got some rotational authority on this 32. Alright, hang on. Let's put it down and pick it back up again and see. You know what I kind of want to test? The SRV's tractor beam. Okay, damn it. After putting it down, I lost the rotational authority. It was there, and now it's gone again. So if you're doing AA transport stuff, still, which is the most efficient contracts? Transport, 40K contracts. Ling family. I'll show you real quick. Well, can't do that while I'm in the tractor beam situation. All right, so yeah, we pretty much verified that it's still useless. You can get some weird stuff to happen, but it's not functioning like you would want it to. Let me show you this, though. So if you're doing the Alliance A contracts, go into priority. If you want transport, do these 6 Ling family 40Ks. Okay, it's only 6 SEU of material you're taking locally in Stanton, from like TISA to here, Crusader L5. There should be 6 of these, the 40K missions only. I would just run around doing these. They're a lot faster and a lot less frustrating to get done. And you can do them in sequence. I think 3 of them actually pick up from New Babbage. So that's 3 of those missions are really, really simple. That one picks up from Grim Hex. Yeah, 3 of those are New Babbage, 1 Grim Hex there. And then Riker and Tisa, I think, are what I saw. But yeah, that's what I would do. You're also slightly drifting to the side. What, the tractor beam? Yeah. It's interesting, man. It bugs me that, you know, it's such a non-issue with your little tractor rifle. Like, again, being able to just toss this stuff around with reckless abandon wherever you need to, regardless of the size it is. And I know that, like, the multi-tool can't rotate everything, and maybe they'll nerf the tractor rifle at some point. I know that will... Man, if you thought you've seen Spectrum Rage, that'll probably be the worst thing you've ever seen in your life if they nerf the tractor rifle that bad. Because I've heard rumors that they, you know, I've heard that you don't want to be able to move like 32 boxes with it. If that is the case, a lot of work needs to be done first to ship's tractor beams. A lot of work. Alright, let's get the Golem and get out there. Maybe at the end we'll do a little testing with the SRB. I'll get it claimed. We'll see how the big size 3 tractor meant for towing handles it. Now, we're not going to bring up the Golem immediately. We're going to store this ship first just in case to make sure that the Golem doesn't spawn with the Hermes and blow up or something, which it would probably be a little further forward. It'd be okay, but just trying to think ahead. Give as few chances as possible for things to go wrongly. By the way, the Galaxy is going to have an interesting way of moving boxes in the ship. Really? I have not really done any research in the Galaxy. I know a ton of people are excited about it. Tractor beam on a rail in the Hermes gives me a lot of hope for the Ironclad. Yeah, I do think that as an organizational feature inside the ship for moving things around, that's where the Hermes tractor beam to me makes the most sense. Especially if you have a buddy with you. But I've also seen tons of comments on the Hermes review videos of people defending the tractor beam and saying they love it. So that is wicked, man. I'm glad. I'm glad that there are a bunch of people willing to say that it's useful. That's perfect. That's what we want. Dogs like you want to go outside and keep cold, right? Right? Yes. What the hell? Did I just really grab the Hermes after I sent down the Hermes? I think I did. I can do some really dumb stuff sometimes. I just really like the ship, guys. I'm just, you know, just wanted to fly the Hermes some more. I said before that they plan to require ship tractors for 32 or ATLS, yeah. See, ATLS is kind of a redeeming factor there. It'll definitely force people to utilize the ATLS. But yeah, that's going to be a... that is going to be a shitstorm from the community, no doubt. What happens if someone were to ride the landing pad down to storage? It just comes back up. Because we've accidentally sent friends down on them before. And well, you know, not always. Either it'll just come back up, registering that someone's on it, or you'll stay down there as another ship is called up or wait. I did have somebody with me. Oh my goodness, who was it? Was it Bartman? No, it was Roughneck. It was Roughneck. He was on my hangar. I didn't realize it, my hangar floor. He went down with my ship. I went to go take a piss. Didn't realize he was still down there. So I hop back in. I'm just chatting. He's like, "Can you call a ship, please?" I was like, "Wait, what?" He was still at the base of the ship hangar. It was hilarious. So I called it up, and there he was. He was up, and he left my hangar, and everything was fine. Too funny. Oh, yeah, so I need real quick to find my jump point out to the Halo. Okay. Google Drive. Just trying to find my stuff real quick. What the heck? There it is. Belt data from HERL2 to ARC L4. Drop out around 8.6 gigs. All right. Roger Dodger, let's go. I've only found it useful for smaller boxes. I've been using it for 4SU or smaller. The ATLS works excellent in combo with the Hermes. Yeah, ATLS with the Hermes, ATLS with the C2. Lots of people have loved it. I've rarely used it. I've used the GEO tenfold more than I've ever even thought about using the cargo ATLS, not gonna lie. Alright, I'm out. Taking motorcycles out for a ride. Hell yeah, man. I'll have a blast. Stay safe out there. Sounds like a fun time, dude. Thank you for hanging out. Alright, couple mode off. Call that door. Let's go. Model 4 size 2 tractors. They got stuck in the air on the lift. Oh, man. What a pain. Yeah, basically crane-like system like dockyards have for ship containers, but then with tractor beams. Yeah. See, I like the sound of that. That sounds cool. That sounds cool. Alright, so
And please visit again.
Arc L4 is where we want to head to get to the Halo from this location. And we're going to drop out around the 8.6 mark. Which is a pretty quick jump, really. You know, it's only about 7 gigs away or less. Just noticed that red tractor rifle hasn't hit my hangar yet. I'm close to being done with the event. Is that thing dropping in waves? It shouldn't be. I just don't remember if it's the 30 or 50% mark in your total or in collections. It will spawn at your home hangar. When I see the Golem cockpit, my brain sees the ox and goes, Uthini! Yeah. Honestly, for me, when I see the Golem cockpit, I think of the Drake Mule. The little, like, ground vehicle you'll see, like, at the Pyro cargo stations. I used to drive those around for fun. They're so stupid fun. And it's basically the cockpit of this ship with wheels. Like, if you were to just take just the cockpit, none of the stuff all around it, just the cockpit and the seat mechanic, and then throw like 6 wheels on it, and you have the mule. Missing a bunch of stuff. Same cockpit, yeah. Oh, I went way too far. Damn it. Alright, we gotta jump about 6 gigs back to her L2. I got distracted showing stuff off. Curse my brain. Alright, about 6 gigs back this direction, we'll be in the Halo. Should I keep the whole B or get a cargo ship like the Hermes that has an interior for storing like GEO or something like that? I do think 512 is nothing to give up easily. Yeah, when you can fit almost 600 in the Hermes, you know, maybe not gridded. I think it comes down to whether or not you want something that's a bit more daily driver attenuated or if you're going for purely cargo. Because if you want more of a daily, yeah, I think the Hermes beats out the whole B. But if you want pure cargo, I think the whole B is going to be the option. It's going to be the best competitor in its class by far. Here we go. We are in the Halo. Not the thickest part of the belt, but that is okay. That is plenty. Look at that. We dropped out a kilometer away from a P-type asteroid. Let's go. All right. Whoop. Going too fast. I forget how quick the Golem can be. Don't want the sun right in my face. That's horrible. All right. Terranite and copper right away. Man, all right. Let's go ahead and hit our speed brake to keep us parked here. Punch this thing. Let's actually go SC until we get our shields up. Whoa! Okay, that was a spike. Let's control that, huh? There we go. Instability. Yeah, Ox. Love me some Golem, man. I can't wait to stash this and the Ox and my salvation on the Ironclad. I'm so ready for that. Awesome. We didn't have any blowback against our shields, too, which is really cool. We're just probably going to pull all of this in, really. Oh, yeah. All that Terranite and copper right there. Whoop. Yikes. That's why I always reset my power to 0 as well. Okay. Be good vibe for ride. Thanks for the reminder. Wait, what happened? Sand in the membrane. Nice. I miss riding, man. I hope you have a blast. A good amount of inert there, but that's fine. We're just gonna take this back and probably just go ahead and refine this. This is already gonna put a lot of the golem's capacity out. All that copper, let's go. So what's cool is coming up with crafting, and which apparently a tech preview for crafting and stuff is going to be coming out this week, later this week. So I'm really excited for that. So we'll probably have some Evocati content for you guys, you know, talk no show kind of thing. But I think about the upcoming crafting as well as these missions, and the fact that we have a reason to grab more of these materials. We got lucky that this first rock we basically dropped right on top of is Terranite, so that's actually really valuable. But that copper is going to go a long way, no doubt. Are you stacking any tier 3 mats like aluminum, copper? When I do the refinery orders, is that what you mean? Do you ever use the prospector since you have the golem, or you just use the golem and the mole? Pretty much just the golem and the mole. Once the golem came out, I've not really touched the prospector. Not that it isn't a great ship, especially since you can put the mole bags on it. But the maneuverability of the golem, especially being able to put it like inside of a C2, it's pretty incredible. Oh wow, where I'm sitting currently, there's no mining mission stuff. So hopefully when we pop over to Hurston, we'll see it. Let's actually do that. Let's go out of parking brake, get into our quantum travel mode, target Hurston. The heck? Okay, well, I guess we'll just nav there. Actually, we'll target Everest Harbor. Oh, I was a little off. There we go. Yeah, you just mentioned about crafting. I think the market is going to explode. I don't doubt it. Citizen toss Deadwake a like. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Close to 5K. Yeah, that's right. We are knocking on 5K's door, man. We're right there. Really appreciate all the love and support. Thank you, Hawks. Look forward to doing some awesome collab content with this man in the future. It's going to be a good time. Ship mining missions are regional, with different ones being required in different areas. Yeah, that makes sense. A lot of the missions will show up that way. Bounty missions, mining missions, hauling missions, all of it. What do you recommend mining or salvaging to start out with? So, well, the Salvation and the Golem are kind of like the easy mode answers. They're both fantastic ships. They're small and simple to get your hands on. I definitely want to do some quick start guides to the mining and salvage world using them. Salvage, I'm going to do a dedicated video showing a little bit of each of the ships that you can salvage with. But yeah, I mean, especially with the missions that you can do kind of locally, turning stuff in, running out in the Salvation is fantastic. I'm pretty biased to the Vulture as a starting salvage ship too, because it can do so much. It's such a good ship. It's got a good cargo bay as well. But as far as like a technical starter, I don't think you can go wrong with the Salvation or the Golem. Is the Salvation currently pledgeable? Because you can't buy it in game, but you can get the Vulture in game and all. Something to think about. Salvage is easier. Mining is for the ones who like to test and try out different things. Yeah, mining used to be a lot simpler. Some people actually prefer it back when it was basically break rock, sell stuff, versus now it's break rock, take the refinery, and then sell stuff, which salvage is starting to sort of mimic that gameplay, because with construction materials, you go to the refinery to then get a lot more valuable out of it. I think once you start mining, the complexity starts to get a lot simpler. Or maybe just the experience isn't as bad as you might think it is once you start actually doing it. Because like you can dive into, you know, modules and gadgets and instability resistance and all that, sure, but I think that comes with experience. I don't think it's something you have to really think about too much when you first start. Golem is so fast, it is one of the ships that you will absolutely black out in if you're not careful. That's another reason I love the Golem. It's so fun to fly. It's so quick. It's just a great ship. Drake fanboyness aside, it's such a fantastic ship. Oh, this is some of the things that make people a little uncomfortable with decoupled flight, but you just get used to it, man. Right side up is relative. Alright. Let's send this down. Bullshit's personal storage bug. Does it? What's the personal storage bug? Mining will pick up more complexity, or at least frustration, when we have to start looking for specific materials for crafting. Maybe the frustration part, but honestly, I think that if you just break every rock you see and take it and start refining it, eventually, pretty quickly, you're going to find yourself with a surplus of just about any material you need. Now, if you're trying to min-max the blueprints for, like, the highest tier stuff that you can, like crafting things that might have Stellaron or, like, Janelite in it, then yeah, that might get a bit more tedious because you're going to be hunting those down. But I'm going to approach it with the mindset of basically break everything I see and take it in, which is another reason I can't wait for the Ironclad, because that's just going to be loaded with mining bags with my golem on board, and I'm just going to be working out in the belt, full-blown belt of life. Rock is bugged, yep. Salvation and Golem are both buyable in-game, really? Oh, hell yeah. Well then, man, yeah, I think that those are your best ships to start with, just for complexity or simplicity rather than complexity, speed, maneuverability, getting into it. That's what I would do. So, Moonfish, you might have missed earlier, we were using the ROC, but it was the vehicle we used to pick up the materials because right now the laser is off-center. If you want to later or whenever, you can actually go back to the earlier parts of the video and see me using the ROC, and you can actually see how the crosshair and the laser for the extraction are completely off. So we're all just eagerly waiting for them to fix that, and then the ROC will be great. It's a fun way to mine. I do think the GEO is a little bit more fun. Oh, I'm a noob. I went back to Everest Harbor instead of Herel too. What the hell did I do that for? Damn, you guys are just gonna let me figure that out, huh? It's because I'm talking to y'all. I don't know why I went back to Everest. That was dumb. Herel 2 is the refinery. At least you guys get a laugh. What are your thoughts on the Moth if it gets some love towards some of its current bugs? I love it. The Moth is an incredible ship that is absolutely a staple in my hangar. But I'm also a massive fan of the Mole. Spend so many years flying the Mole. So I am biased, recognizably so. But the Moth is fantastic. Even with its bugs, it's totally kick-ass right now. Because most of what I do isn't around scraping RMC. Now, if you're trying to grind through the early stages of the new missions, then yeah, that sucks. Because you need a lot of RMC or size 0 components, which I don't think was super well thought out in the current state of the game. But as far as crunching ships, like breaking ships apart and like looting components off of ships, it's still an amazing vessel. The Hermes and the Moth are the two ships this year so far that I was not expecting and that are absolutely staying with me. Like, to the point to where to keep the Moth, I've melted my Asgard. Because my Hermes has already taken that slot, so I am happy with that. Punishment shot, no. Actually, we need to make a Costco run and get more alcohol. We've had a little too much tequila today. Or too much tequila, period. This whole freaking month. Started doing the stream glass pours. Size 0 components are not great to find actually salvaging, but finding them, salvaging them, yeah, versus people just buying them and taking the components off to complete the missions, I don't consider that real salvage. That's cheesing to me, so that's why I say that that's not as well thought out. Well, I've already had my stream glass. I always, when I'm streaming, have a full pour, well, more than a normal pour, about 6 to 7 ounces of tequila. My way of getting into the mood and all. All right, let's go to Herel 2, where we were supposed to go. Yeah, we'll take a couple of shots throughout the day together, and there we are. On my stream days, I like to do my glass. I've actually properly salvaged some over the last couple of days. Size 0s, nice. Okay, where? How? I'm intrigued now. Especially finding size 0 components on vehicles that are properly physicalized. Outposts, okay. Well, I guess with vehicles, did you have any issues like accessing them because they weren't yours? I guess with a vehicle, you can just get in it, right? You don't have to worry about canopies or anything, so maybe I need to do some hunting, like SCD-1. Okay. See, that's proper salvage. Hedrick's doing it right. Let's go. Yeah, I won't be doing that again. See, on days where I'm having a lot of alcohol, it's usually just kind of fun and stupid and high energy. That THC drink was just off mode and frustrating. Felt like I was stuck in some weird like time paradox. That was not enjoyable while trying to do something productive. Now, later that week, having a drink with my wife and just like watching Lucifer and eating food and sipping on one of those drinks together, that was the way to do it. That was enjoyable. Not trying to stream with it. No. I used to drink a beer every morning before going into work until I learned it was a sign of future alcoholism. Honestly, I'm okay with that. I don't have an addictive personality. I'm fortunate in that. So my habits or vices are purely by choice versus habitual addiction or anything. So I don't really have as much of that concern. I realize that that is definitely a privilege of my metabolism or my mentality, I guess. Because I could, you know, not touch tequila for the next like 3 to 4 months and it wouldn't bother me. I might want to, just like you might want to have pizza, you know, but it won't be like, oh my god, I need it. So, to that degree, if it is a little bit of an alcoholic tendency to drink the way I do, I'm cool with it. That is how I'm enjoying life. Alright. Did the RMC and CM turn-ins to get to Junior? Nice, yeah. That's probably the fastest way to do it. I'm probably going to end up doing that out of my Vulture just to speed up the process. That should be a good time. Hey chat, just curious, is the Dust Devil the only in-game set with a cape that's lootable? That is a good question. One I definitely don't know.
To the ASOC vehicle retrieval
Trapped in inner space. Yeah, Hawks, 100%. You saw some of that live stream, right? You probably saw that. I was just gone. That was not a good time. I drank it way too fast. I drank it like I was going through a monster, and that was bad. Artemex does have a bit of a cape, yeah. Kind of built in. Artemex is the suit that looks very much like something out of the game Destiny. I have a couple of those. I like them. And I think the Link set's kind of a torn cape, right? Like it's sort of an offset torn cape. Yeah, I was there. Yeah, so you saw it. That was rough. Started out good. Like the initial sort of lightheaded kind of THC buzz was great, but then it quickly compounded into something not so enjoyable. Also didn't realize that it probably had a double effect being 50 mil of THC, but also 50 mil of CBD. So I know they have different properties, but when my wife realized that, she's like, yeah, probably not smart. Lesson learned. It was good for us. Well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm here to entertain. Just got Shubin Interstellar to applicant. Doesn't look like there's any new contracts. Damn, I hope it's not the case kind of like with Ling and Dead Saints and all the new Interstellar stuff. They haven't released the new missions for it, or the higher tier missions. That would suck. Is the ROC the reason why I can't throttle the laser? You should be able to throttle your laser, but it is just like really off in its aim. There are more higher up. Okay, that's good, that's good. I stay dry Sunday through Thursday. Friday, it's time to lose some weight. Yeah, okay, hey, that's fair. That's true, because that is one thing I didn't realize. So the glass of Devil's Reserve tequila that I like to drink on my streams, that's a good like 200 to 250 calories in just tequila that I'm taking in as well. So keeping that in mind for my own training goals and trying to stay under my caloric maintenance to actually burn some fat is kind of important, because that's an extra couple hundred calories that I wasn't factoring in. It's like, oh boy, I didn't realize there'd be that much in freaking tequila. It's probably even worse in beer and other things. Okay, here we go. Copper and Terranite. Let's do the fastest, because I don't really care about the cost. 48 minutes. Okay, for a good chunk of SCU here, which is cool. So I'm not worried about trying to immediately complete these contracts. What I want to do is start building a buffer of these materials. Because again, with mining, if you're looking for that sort of instant gratification or that quick earning potential, it's not going to present itself like that, like it would for just like doing commodities trades or bounty runs, or, you know, even just selling RMC, because you do have to refine construction materials to get the better profit. But as you build orders, if you get enough mining refinery work orders going, then you start to have a constant stream of potential revenue as your work orders finish. So it has a building effect in the background that once you start running into is pretty nice, because then you're just checking and like orders are getting done. The problem can be if you start to divide those between refineries a little too much, because you might lose track of having a bunch of orders that are done over at like Corel 1 or MIC L2 or MIC L5 or HER L2, and trying to keep track of where everything is can be a little bit of a pain. So it probably would be best to kind of pick a refinery. MIC L2 and MIC L5 and Stanton I think are still the best when it comes to bonuses, and then just like grind those out. Like take all of your stuff there, that way it's in one place. Instant gratification is not a Star Citizen thing. Yeah, usually not, because even in cases where you think it would be, the phantom of Chris Roberts detecting you have fun comes in, and you lose your trading order, or something happens, and your session gets either restarted or totally halted. So yeah, I think that's a fair point.
Your vehicle, please visit us again.
Insurrection and Kano, thank you so much for the follow on YouTube. Wow, Golem just decided to pop into existence here. Cool. So I did fail to do one thing, but this will be a teaching moment as we head back into the belt. I didn't clean out my bags. So the inert material you have to actually sell at the ore terminal to clean that out entirely. So we're going to see how much of the inert stuck around. Just as another example of learning from me, so you don't make the same mistakes that I make. I totally forgot about it. So my hopper should still have some material in it. Yep, a full 1.5 SCU of that 32 is still inert. Not bad though, not bad. That's a pretty low quantity, like 5% roughly, just spitting out a number. So yeah, sell that ore to clean that out in the future so you don't get stuck with that. Whoops. Make sure you clear the hangar before you full throttle. That hurt. Alright, that's also why there are external pads. I thought I had enough forward thrust to clear that. Flying in third person is never recommended. There we go, there are the pads. We'll do a quick repair hit before we get out there in mine. Oh boy. And we are upside down relative to these, so there we go. Nice slowdown above it. Let's touch down here and get repaired. I like to touch the deck under 5 meters per second, just a bit smoother. Minus 1 point for decoupled jig. What? Decoupled is just the way to go, man. But paying attention to your surroundings so you don't run into shit is kind of important. Alright, here we go. What am I doing? I took off way too fast. What is this, my first time? Gotta let them actually repair the ship, genius. I broke it. Oh no. Hold on, did I land fast enough that they'll just start repairing me? That'd be hilarious. I know who the pilot is gonna be when we do videos together. Oh yeah.
Launch complete.
I only crashed once, I'm sorry. There we go. Let's see, if we moved, we picked up again, and we might have to hop to a different pad. Yeah, I think this one's now busted, so that's my bad. Alright. So we'll pop over to this one. Now I'm just kind of showing off a little bit. There we go.
Landing complete.
What about this one? There we go. Now we're good. All right, we'll actually let it repair us this time. I thought about starting out in the verse of the SRV, pure survival with no weapons. I love the SRV. Honestly, that is a ship that I still need to make some more content on. So, unfortunately, until maybe there's a little bit more incentive to like tow ships around, things like the Moth kind of still beat it out for me as like a regular daily. But I still would have a lot of fun just kind of taking that ship out and messing with it. Because it's also a great ship for salvaging components. You might not be able to like break a ship down, but you can move ships, kind of pull them to your friends that are salvaging. You can do a lot of good stuff with that ship. And I've had some fun messing with it on live streams. I love my SRV. It's a great little ship. I just want more reasons to use it. Like contract cleanup missions for stations that have a bunch of abandoned ships parked on their pads. Like, that would be fantastic. We also need another manufacturer to make a tow. Yes, that is something that I really want across the board. I want the companies to really compete as companies. Argo and Drake seem to compete a lot with each other, which I like big time, but like for hauling, for example, the whole series from MISC or like from MISC, they're the only ships to that caliber for hauling. And from the sound of it, CIG has no desire to make like a massive Argo raft that can haul 4,000 plus SCU. So the Drake Ironclad's the closest thing, and it's still less than half of what the Hull C can do. So I want more inter-manufacturer competition across the board in like every category. Salvage, mining, hauling, combat. Combat's kind of already there. I mean, pretty much every manufacturer has a pretty good combat ship for the most part, minus Argo. But, I mean, they're purely industrial, so it's all good. When is 1.0 released? This year, you think? No. Oh boy, no. 1.0 in my mind is the Ghost of Future, the Ghost of Christmas Future kind of thing. Like, I just don't think about it. Honestly, to me, 1.0 is semantics. At any point when they come out of beta, they could just say it's 1.0. It's just like it's a number code. I went way past the belt again. Talking to you guys, I am so bad at focusing on my task while I'm having conversations. You know, I just got to do it more so I get used to it. All right, we're going to go back like another 7 gigs to the belt. It's all good. I do it to myself. Gray market tomater, that would be sick. I want to see that. But yeah, 1.0, being realistic, you know, saying that like timelines actually, you know, are on point or go where you would expect to, maybe 2028, 2029? Like, who all in the chat thinks pre-2030 for 1.0? Like, official 1.0. I think it's going to come with Squadron 42, which that feels overly ambitious because that would be potentially the end of this year. That feels extremely overambitious, though, to me. So I'd love to see some thoughts in the chat. We got lots of people that from brand new to ancient veterans. Yeah, Mega Raft, Soggy Quiche, I would love that. Something to compete. Something to compete with the whole series would be awesome. I gotta double check where we're at in relation to everything now because I've went too far. Y'all, we're close. We're only like probably a couple 100 kilometers out. Where is Hurl 2 at? Hurl 1, that's fine. We can use Hurl 1. 29, 2030, calling it now, 1.0 in 2028. Doc, I'm with you. I think 2028's our year. That's my guess. I do think pre-2030, I think 2028, I think it'd be absolutely insane if it came out before that, but so if CIG has any sense, 1.0 will be within 6 months of Squadron 42, so tell us, I do agree with that as well. I just hope that doesn't mean that Squadron 46 is going to be delayed past 26, because I definitely want to get into that game, and we all, God, who doesn't? But yeah, that's kind of tough. I could totally see, you know, 2028 kind of being that year for 1.0, hopefully, if that's when they decide to do it. There we go. Ooh, Q-type. Oh my gosh. Yeah, see, flying toward the star can be a problem there because one of these asteroids could be coming right at you that are that small and you would have no idea. Also, keep in mind how fast the Golem is. I mean, we get up quickly to 500 meters per second without even trying. So that's why in my decoupled tutorial video, I'm using the Golem Ox. It's a great ship to practice decoupled flight in with its VTOL authority, with its rapid speed. It's so good. Okay, let's see what we have here. Oh, the Golems also seem to have working headlights now, guys. Woo! Oh, man, we're not going to be able to crack this thing. Not without some gadgets, I don't think. This is too big. This is where the mole comes in. Yeah, I don't have any gadgets on me. That's fine. We'll just move on. Yeah, that's not going to move. Hang on. Let me tick up and get a little closer here. Push into the danger zone. Drop that. Oh, I've also put my speed limiter to default on, and it is the other middle tab that's up and down. You can see it moving over there on the left. See that blue? I'm wiggling it here. So now I can go speed brake by just putting it all the way down and then fully release it by setting it up, or set my speed to some like reasonable cruising speed, like right here, which is what, 100 meters per second. I can tick it up to, you know, whatever that is. What, about 230, which is pretty cool. Yeah, having it on that tab is pretty awesome. All right, let's get back to finding our next deposit. 6 kilometers out looks good to me. Going way too fast. Hockey stop. Attempts. Oh, man, we're slowing down quick. We're graying out. How close did we get? Dude, that was freaking good. Oh, bro, that was fun. Oh, man, that was fun. Okay, this one seems to be a little smaller. Maybe? Oh, my gosh. Oh, yeah, tiny. 911. And I have to fracture it? Seriously? Yeah, middle tab on the base. The one that when you move it, it stays in position. That's what whoa. That's what I put my speed limiter on. So I have it default always on now. And then with that right one, that right tab, that is how I adjust that. Because the left one has, if you're using my binds, you know that the left one is mining laser power. So the right one's my speed limiter. This is a little tougher. We're definitely going to go shields on. Oh, this is going to be spicy. Oh, it wasn't as bad. Okay, cool. It's a small rock, so not as much energy. Who needs headlights when you have lamp? Actually, jeez, no. Good God. Lamp is too strong. I wish we could kind of like dim it or change it a little bit. But also, we're not in an area where you really need to use lamp because Stanton Star is lighting everything up. So it's almost like ticking into like a different part of the electromagnetic spectrum to where it's like way too bright or it's like red shifted or whatever. But, you know, they use specific colors based on the ship. Crazy. Not this side of the rock. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but the headlights are actually pretty good. I'm glad that they work now because in the last patch, these lights were just not doing anything. So I am really happy that that's working. 100% aluminum. Let's go, man. That is what I want to see. All right. What I miss on the Orion? Hang on. If they follow what they said about Squadron 26, I'd expect Squadron November 26 to align with IAE. Yes, agreed. And the holiday purchase season when we go into beta in Mayish 2027 with 1.0 in 2028. You know, honestly, Doc, I'm right there. That's pretty much what my brain would be at too. I agree. That seems most reasonable. I hope it's not later than that, but man, I can't imagine how much we're going to have in this game in just the next year, let alone 2028. There we go, another almost 100% aluminum. That's what I want to see, man. I know aluminum is one of the common materials for these early missions. I think it was aluminum, copper, and tungsten were the one mission we had earlier. That's 100% inert, so we'll ignore it. 100% aluminum, hell yeah. This is probably what we're going to do to finish up the stream today. We're going to fill up the golem and then take it in to refine. And then I'll try not to forget that it's actually in there. So it's only 2 SCU, 28% aluminum, 72% inert. That's all right. It's not enough material that's really going to impact us too negatively, especially if we had to remember to clean out our bags. Another lesson learned. All right. Let's see. Where are we going next? 6.5 kilometers out. It's not bad. Okay, yeah, so speed limiter adjustment does not work at all in scanning mode, even with it bound to that middle tab. So, good to know. Aluminum, copper, titanium, iron. How'd you find that asteroid belt? So, this is the Aaron Halo that is not marked on any maps, but there are plenty of websites that'll show you how to get into it, like where to quantum and when to drop out. So, for this one, I start at her L2, and then I target... Oh, debris. Whoops. I target arc L4. So her L2 to arc L4, and then I drop out between 9.4 and like 7.6 gigameters away from arc L4. So when you get down to like, you know, usually around 8.6 away from arc L4, that's where I cancel my quantum and I pop into the belt. It's a thick belt, so there's leeway. You can bounce around, move around within it once you find it especially. But it's fantastic. It is just a massive array of mining materials, and nobody's going to be able to get to you unless they're in your party. Like, you can't get pirated out here like this. You just can't. It's not a function that you would be able to have somebody track you down. Like, you would actually have to be in my party and quantum to me. Even dead dropping, you're likely going to dead drop a few mega mics away, not going to be close enough to actually see any ships. All right, 3 kilometers away from a Q-type. Oh, yeah, we're not moving too fast because we're in SCM, so I'm going to boost up. There we go. I am Hosas. Yes, I am running dual VKB NXT Evos, the Space Combat Editions. My left stick, though, is the Omni throttle, so it's a 45-degree tilt, which feels a lot more like a throttle than a straight up stick, which I like a lot. I've been using these for about a year, or a year and a half now, and I love them. So we can break this, and this got Quantanium and iron. This is our graduation route, guys. This is what we're going home with. Pretty much want to shoot straight back to base anytime you're breaking Quantanium anyway, so let's go. Don't want to overcharge this. This will end our session. Where you take the mission matters. Yeah. You jump where, again, you said? So, for this particular region of the belt, the Eastern Quadrant, as I call it, you're going to go from HER-L2 to ARC-L4. Tell you what, after I break this rock, I'll give you guys a chance to screenshot my spreadsheet for the North, East, South, and West quadrants that I mapped. You can find websites that have a ton of other ways to get in and out, but these are the 4 that I use, that I mapped out before they had all those websites. You know, back in my day, we were sourcing this stuff ourselves. So I'll put that up for you guys to see. But this one is HER-L2 to ARC-L4, dropping out around 8 to 8.8 gigs from ARC-L4. This is actually incredibly stable for Quantanium. Nutty, man. Why for your pirates aren't you in Stanton? Yeah, that doesn't mean they're not going to break the law, though. Stanton just means that there's a legal system where bounty hunters can track down pirates, but skillful PvPers and pirates have ways of doing things in Stanton too. You're not safe just because you're here. Armistice zones will prevent ships from firing on you, but you still want to keep yourself aware of not leaving your ship wide open so you don't get boarded. You want to treat everywhere as a potential hazard. It's just kind of a smart mindset to be in, just to be careful. Not to, you know, sound overly dramatic or anything. It's a good question, though. Yeah, you would think you'd be safe, but you're only as safe as you're willing to take risk, or you're only as safe as you let yourself be. I don't know. I mean, just the other day, we were being very risky, and we were at a Hathor site, and an Idris came over and railgunned us, and then we all proceeded to chase that guy around for the rest of the stream, which was fun. But also, Hathor sites are notorious PvP zones in Stanton. So, yeah, there's always that to consider. Yeah, I got blown up right next to a station with 0 negative effects for the guy that blew me up. See, that sucks. I do think we really need Bounty Hunting 2.0 and the legal system to actually have more incentive. Personally, I think that prison sentences should be like 10x'd. And I think that if you Alt F4 out of combat to try to avoid getting killed by somebody who's chasing you, that your avatar and everything should stay in game to where you can still be killed and sent to prison. I don't think you should have like a rage quit and get away card, which I kind of wish that day that we were chasing the dude in the Idris that we had actually went all the way to his ship, because maybe that is the thing. Maybe, just maybe. We're not going to be able to get all of this, but we're going to as much as we can carry. Yeah, we're full now. That was fun. Guy needed deleting. Yeah, I loved it. We managed to get him to rage quit, or to back out of the game, which is cool. Unfortunately, in a lot of my experience with trying to do player versus player bounties, it ends in one of 2 ways most of the time. Either they get to Grim Hex and they just stay there, or they get to a station and they log out, or they just log out. They run in some way that ends in you getting the mission taken away, and you're not able to catch that criminal. Which I guess on the criminal side of things, if they make it to a place like Grim Hex, or they make it to a pyro station and get away from you and log out, they won. But if they just leave the game mid-pursuit, or like the guy did in the Idris, he dropped into dead space to try to lose us, but I found him. We were all encroaching on him, and then he logged off. So that was a bit of a bummer. It was a fun chase, though. That was cool. So a Hathor site is part of one of the narrative sandbox events that were brought into the game a while back, where you have these massive orbital laser platforms. It's a whole series of events to basically go to these sites, align the lasers, and turn on this like massive mining beam that shoots out orbitally right into the planet to open up caves to some really valuable stuff inside, including like high-tier Wicklow rewards, hand minables, all that. But because of its value as a location, it is a heavily player-focused combat area, where typically if you're there, unless you're in a big party, the chances that the people there with you are friendly are very few and far between. Like, some people have had organic encounters where they go down and they kind of just don't bother each other, but my luck, pretty much anytime I've been down there, it ends in some kind of a fight. Whether they just want to kill you or they just want to make sure that you're not a threat to them as they loot the site and do the event and stuff. So there's 2 orbital laser platforms around one of the moons in Hurston and 2 around Daymar in Crusader system in Stan. So yeah, Utini land. It is also a fantastic place to source high value components for ships. And I think even maybe some hand weapon stuff. So like, there's a lot of incentive to go, but you know, it's a very high risk, high reward kind of a thing. Sort of like contested zones in Pyro, or the executive hangars. So profit for what I'm doing here, Moonfish, or for like the Hathor stuff? Remember, pirating is an industrial profession. Yeah, it's one way to put it. This run. So the profit on these runs is, I would call it negligible. This is purely to do the missions, to build up materials for these missions that we're doing, purely to see how the rep tree performs. If you were going for value, we actually did get something of pretty high value. We got Quantanium, which is like 80 to 90,000 AUEC per SCU. So with that in mind, we have about 400k of raw Quantanium. Yeah, roughly. Now, refined, it's going to be about half that. So 200-ish K of raw of refined Quantanium is what we have on board right now. So, yeah, if you find a lot of Terranite, Quantanium, that sort of stuff, the value to sell that stuff is incredible. And then you can take all the other crap that comes with it that you would normally not refine to do these missions, or to save for future crafting recipes, which is one of the things that I'm trying to really think about going forward, especially into 4.7 and all. So that's going to be really cool. Alright, coming on down. So with Quantanium also, guys, you can see a little timer up here, volatile cargo detected. So we got about 20 minutes before this cargo would go nuclear, quite literally. Like, this Quantanium on our ship right now would probably one-tap an Idris. It's so volatile. So you want to be very careful not to bump into stuff, because that also affects the volatile state of the cargo. But we're going to go ahead and get this dropped. Once it's stored in station, whether you put it on an elevator or drop your ship, you're fine. The timer goes away. It's no longer a threat. And then you can refine it to sell it. Same, I try to use ROE even with shit on site. Yep. Yeah, that's kind of the thing, right, Solus? Yeah, you and Malice both talking about it, that Hathor is such a dangerous place that it's the Dark Forest hypothesis, guys. If I have any fellow Cixin Lu fans, the Remembrance of Earth's Path, 3-body problem, Dark Forest, Death's End, it's the Dark Forest hypothesis right there. You're the hunter at a site, and you don't know if that other person is going to be friendly or not, so it is better for you to end them before they end you. That is literally the
Welcome to the
Dark Forest theory. And yeah, I realized that as I was talking. Thank you for that shout, Devil Dog. Keeping me in line here. Let's make sure it actually goes down.
To the ASOC vehicle retrieval system.
Yep, alright. We are looking good. But yeah, Hawks, totally. It is a real, you know, the Dark Forest theory is a very serious thing. It's one of the reasons that it's so terrifying to think about the presence of extraterrestrials. I'll tell you what, we have a lot of like friendly, happy-go-lucky, you know, buddy cop, alien sort of stuff and alien lore stuff with Star Trek, Star Wars, Project Hail Mary, this game even. You want something to really fuck up your mindset or shift your mindset when it comes to first contact protocols? Read the 3-body problem, Dark Forest and Death's End series. It's called Remembrance of Earth's Past. It's a full trilogy. That's going to mess with you. Sheer volume of people I have ever killed was so I could feel safe when farming. Exactly. That was my motto in Sea of Thieves as well, man. You could never tell if that other ship was dangerous or not, so I would either get onto their ship and disable it, kind of crippling them, or like send it sailing away so they'd have to go chase it so I could do what I was going to do. I wouldn't always necessarily choose the violent option, but you do what you got to do to make sure that you can do what you need to do. Here we go. We'll do Pyrotechnic on this one as well, which that's another 51 minutes. So yeah, it's the highest expense, but it generates the stuff in the quickest amount of time. So this is already almost halfway done, which is really cool. So I'm going to use this tactic. I'm going to sell things like the Terranite The Terranite and the Quantanium are worth a buttload of money. And the other stuff would be good for mission turn-ins, crafting eventually. While I'm thinking about it, let me get you guys that screen grab before I log off of here of my entry points for the belt. Not Gmail. What am I doing? The better and better I get at this, I'll be a little bit better at talking and keeping things in line. Edric, yeah, you're totally right. I didn't split them up, but I also didn't really care to because I'm not trying to like get it done in 5 minutes. Again, it ties into my mindset around building up a foray of work orders that'll just finish and I'll have things done in bulk. But, you know, that's just me. Not everybody has the same mindset. You can totally split it up to get things done faster if you're trying to grind out the missions faster. Feel free to min-max the hell out of it, guys. All right, here is the belt data. So I'm going to throw this in front of the screen. I'm going to give it a few seconds while I look for somebody to raid out to in Star Citizen. These are the, like, so just to explain what this is real quick. On the left side with belt location, you start with the one at the left to get to these different quadrants. West, north, east, and south. So you start at Krill 1, Miko 1, Hurl 2, Arc L2. You navigate or target the corresponding location to go to. Arc L3, Krill 5, Arc L4, Krill 4. So start and end locations. That's how this is split up. The start of the belt is this distance away from your targeted location. So when you get 12.2 gigs away from Arc L3, that is the start of the Aaron Halo as I sourced it. The end, when you've gone too far, is around that 10.5. And there are several bands in between. Some areas seem thicker than others. It might even go a little bit beyond this. I was just, you know, doing it for simplicity. So start here, navigate here. When you get this close is when you're safe to jump out to start entering the Halo, and then you can play with it as much as you want between these distances and any of these regions. I think the southernmost location was one of the thickest that I found, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, pretty awesome. Pretty awesome to get out to the Halo, do a whole bunch of mining salvage too, because there's panels, there's abandoned derelict ships like C2s and 890s that are rare, but you'll find them. So hopefully you guys got that. You can always go back in the VOD after the stream too to find it if you need to. Someone earlier mentioned that setting each ore up as a separate work order made everything faster. Yeah, exactly. See, I just look at the map, and when I'm inside the ring around Crusader and Hurston, I drop out. Yeah, you can blind drop it. It works, especially if you kind of know the general area. Definitely. If memory serves, there are like 7 bands of the Halo. I think there's actually closer to like 11 bands that people have mapped in different regions. Some people have gone really in depth with it, man. Okay, let's find ourselves a Star Citizen content creator to raid out to for today. This has been a fun session, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on the YouTube side. That's pretty much all she wrote, but we're going to, on the Twitch side, raid out to somebody to keep the party rolling while I go grab the doggos and walk them with the wife. All right. Links to the org and our Discord is all on the YouTube side down in the description, guys, if you want to check that out. Looks like Space Tomato's actually streaming right now. So is our good old PvP guy, Pork Chop, as Ancient says. Yeah, why don't we raid out to Space Tomato? We'll go for somebody bigger. That'd be fun. Actually, I like him. He seems less whiny than some of the other legacy creators. HEB time. Hell yeah. Oh, man, dude. I miss HEB. Anytime we were traveling through Texas, I would always go back there. They got my Zions energy drinks. Here, everything really is better. 100%. If you're from Texas, you already know. All right, guys, here we go. Raid is spooling up. Oh, never mind. Space Tomato's too cool for me. His raid settings do not allow you to raid at this time. Well, fine. I tried. Some of y'all should go into Tomato and be like, yo, why can't people raid you, bro? It's all good. It's all good. We will hit up somebody else. I will also make sure that they are English speaking for you guys. All right. Not that I have anything against, spreading the love to all kinds of people, but the amount of times that I've given you guys to someone Italian or French or Portuguese, I'm like, I'm sorry. Oh, Burks is live too.
Your ship blows up.
There we go. All right, well, let's see if I'm allowed to raid to Burks. We'll try that. Sorry, Space Tomato. Not sorry. There we go. All right, the Burks raid is loading. Hawks, as always, my friend, awesome to see you in the chat. Frog, Doc, everybody, Deagle, the whole crew, thank you so much, guys. The raid is ready. And this is where we sign off. I will catch you guys on Wednesday, and look out for the videos dropping Tuesday and Thursday.